Yes.
Oh, God, let's go.
I'm heading down to Atlanta. I will be.
He just
Stella Blue
threw
Coffee.
his head back so violently at the plug god that he injured
I will be.
On today's Pardon My Take, we have a very special guest, Raiders quarterback Brian Hoyer. We're also going to bring back one question with the quarterback, maybe not every week, but when we see fit. We have Sam Howell on for that. We're going to talk some college football. We're going to talk the doubleheader Monday Night Football. We got Hot Seat Cool Throne, Jimbos, packed show for you on a Wednesday. And it's all brought to you by our friends at Morgan & Morgan. NFL season just started. It's already going by fast. You want to know what else is fast? Submitting a claim with Morgan & Morgan. It only takes 8 clicks or less right from your phone. And you want to know what else is fast? Watching Kyle Busch and Austin Dillon whip around the track. So Morgan & Morgan has teamed up with Richard Childress Racing to support Kyle Busch and Austin Dillon. And now they're offering one Pardon My Take listener the opportunity to attend race day in Las Vegas on October 15th. They're giving away one lucky winner $2,000 and 2 tickets to see Kyle Busch race live in Las Vegas this October. Morgan & Morgan has been fighting for the people for over 35 years with over $15 billion recovered for over 300,000 clients. Morgan & Morgan has a proven track record of fighting to get you full and fair compensation. Entering to win is easy. Just go to morganvegas.com/PMT. That's morganvegas.com/PMT. No purchase necessary. Open to legal residents of the 48 contiguous United States and D.C. who are 18 plus. Sweepstakes ends 10/1/2023. For entry and official rules, visit morganvegas.com/PMT. So that's morganvegas.com/PMT. So go check it out right now. And thank you to Morgan & Morgan. If you need a injury lawsuit, if you need to file a claim, call Morgan & Morgan right now. So Morgan & Morgan, go morganvegas.com/PMT. That's morganvegas.com/PMT. And there'll be one lucky winner who's going to Vegas with a cash prize as well. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Pardon My Take. Today is Wednesday, September 20th. And boys, there's a chance that Aaron Rodgers is having a better year than Deshaun Watson.
I don't think so, Big Cat. He got his Achilles torn.
Yeah, but Deshaun Watson is very bad.
He was so bad. Baker Mayfield is smiling.
Hank? He was bad.
The first interception wasn't his fault.
That's probably fair. That's fair. But he was so bad, Hank. And Baker Mayfield is smiling. Baker Mayfield is so happy to see this. They ran him out of town in Cleveland. I've been saying ever since Baker got that raw deal that they didn't know what they had when they had Baker. When you're the Browns, you got to be happy sometimes with having a serviceable quarterback. And they thought that they could go ahead and break the structure of the NFL salary cap and give a sex predator $240 million guaranteed. Not working out so well for the Browns.
So I have some stats for you. Deshaun Watson, out of the 35 quarterbacks with 200 passing attempts since the start of 2022, so he played half of the year last year, played 2 games this year so far. He's 33rd in yards per attempt, just below Carson Wentz. He's 33rd in passer rating,
you didn't have to say
just
that,
below Davis Mills. 34th in sack rate, 34th in completion percentage, 30th in success rate. By any measure, he is one of the worst quarterbacks right now. He's shown that he can play quarterback in the NFL, so he has a resume that if he can get back to that, it's worth the investment. But as we're sitting here, Deshaun Watson, it's ugly.
He also might have created a burner account after the game.
I know.
Did you see the screenshots of that?
Yeah, that ruled.
So allegedly from Deshaun, I think it was called, the Twitter account was like Gainesville Raised or something like that. All the tweets that he had were about Deshaun Watson, replying to people who were replying to tweets about the Browns game, saying not his fault. He doesn't call the plays. Not his fault. Give Deshaun time. Still one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. So he might be out there still standing up for himself. He's the last person that believes in Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
Now, I do feel for Browns fans. I feel like I like Browns fans. I really do. And
it was a disastrous night.
I want them to be happy. They've been just a dismal franchise for a long time. But Deshaun Watson, it's ridiculous how poorly he's played since he's come back.
And then you had obviously the Nick Chubb injury, which was I don't know. Nick Chubb is probably like one of the most liked guys. I feel like no one, even if you're not a Browns fan, you love watching Nick Chubb play football. And that sucked so bad because his knee. Well, Schefter tried to dupe us. Schefter reported about his knee injury from 2015 and phrased it in a way where you read the first part of the tweet and you're like, oh, they already diagnosed that he tore everything in his knee. He probably did tear everything in his knee, but Schefter was doing that for clicks. He got some good engagement on that.
Like a real NFL fan, I keep Schefty notifications on during the season.
Correct.
So it popped up on my phone. I had the dots afterwards. So it said Nick Chubb tore his LCL, PCL, ACL, MCL, cartilage damage.
Yeah.
And then ... And then I opened it up. And then it was in 2015.
In a game against Tennessee.
We'll see if he can recover from this one. It's never a good sign when your running back hurts himself and Willis McGahee starts trending on Twitter.
Yes.
That's a big sign that something's wrong.
It's also crazy they didn't show the replay.
Yeah, so
that's insane. They showed us DeMar Hamlin dying on a field.
So when it happened, Joe Buck was like, and I'm being told that we're not going to show the replay. It's that bad. As Joe Buck's saying that, you hear the crowd reaction in Pittsburgh to them seeing the replay live. And to me, that was almost worse than watching the replay because you hear that and it's a bunch of Pittsburgh fans who want Nick Chubb out of the game. They don't want him injured, but they obviously don't want to see him scoring touchdowns against them. And the entire crowd in Pittsburgh is just like, oh, dear God, what did I just see? So what do we have to do? We're basically entrapped into going online and looking for the replay.
And it was gnarly. It was gnarly, but I don't understand when did they start doing that? When did they
do
say
it sometimes? That's
ridiculous. Your job is to telecast the game. You can maybe put a warning before it, but like it's not like I was like, oh, I want to see how bad it is. But like you watched the game. Well, I kind of did because it was crazy to see.
Well, when Joe Buck says it's so bad, we're not going to show it to you. That's like your parents being like, no, you're not allowed to watch this movie. It's got tits in it. And then I'm like, wow, Braveheart's awesome.
Yeah, we can't wait till I go to my friend's house. I'm going to watch Braveheart.
Yeah,
it was show the injury. Show it once. Your job is to telecast the game. It's a pretty important thing that happened in the game because the Browns were moving the ball. Nick Chubb had like 60 yards in a quarter and a half.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was about as bad as you could get for a Monday Night Football game for the Browns.
And if you're a Steelers fan, you're happy that you got the win. Congrats on it. You're happy for TJ for breaking the sack record. Getting that touchdown, that was awesome. Hank, that probably brought up some bad memories for you. Mm-hmm. Seeing a TJ Watt touchdown.
A lot of tweets.
It was so funny when Hank did that the first time.
The best.
And Nick was like, wait, it says here Derek Watt. And then all the blood drains out of our poor Hank's face.
Mm-hmm. TJ Watt, first touchdown scorer.
No way! You fucking asshole!
You did it.
You genius.
Did you really do it?
Fuck yes!
How much was it? How much was it?
Tweet the bet slip,
like 25 to win $3,000.
Oh!
Wait, that's Derek Watt, the fullback.
Oh, it is?
No!
But you're probably happy if you're a Steelers fan. You got TJ broke the record. You got to win. You beat a division rival. The streak stays intact.
21 straight.
They haven't lost in Monday Night Football since 1991. At home. It's wild.
21 straight home Monday Night Football wins.
Crazy streak. But you're also like, I fucking hate our offensive coordinator, and I hope that he falls into a river on the way home. Because they were... So the Pittsburgh Steelers, at the start of the fourth quarter, they were losing 22-19. They gained -7 total yards in the fourth quarter, and they won the game 26-22.
It was basically like you were watching the game being like the Steelers should punt on first down because the best chance they have of scoring is to get Deshaun Watson to fumble again.
Yeah.
That was how it felt. Their defensive line was absolutely eating. They were everywhere, but their offense and that 3rd and 1 call, I don't know what, maybe it was, a broken play, but Kenny on a keeper on 3rd and 1, I think out of the shotgun.
And there were,
the worst play call ever.
There was misdirection, and then it ended up having like 3 defensive linemen in the backfield at the same time.
Smashing him.
Made no sense. They didn't run a play inside the Browns' 30-yard line.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
So Browns fans, at least you have week 1. Week one was a great win to beat the Bengals. You killed them. You smashed them. All the hopes. And then it just week 2, it feels like their season obviously isn't over, but that losing Nick Chubb it's devastating.
It's as bad as it gets. And yes, you did get hosed on a pass interference on the final play of the game, but the ball was a shitty pass from Deshaun.
Yeah, he
wasn't going to catch
better.
it. If it was close, they would have called it.
Yeah, we also had the Saints and the Panthers playing Monday Night Football. It actually was two Monday Night Football games.
Wait, I got one more thing about the Steelers game.
Okay.
Did you notice they did double Renegade?
I did not.
They did double Renegade, which they rarely do at Steelers games. It's like once a season they'll break out a double Renegade. They brought it out, and I think it was the next play. It might have been the second play after double Renegade was played. TJ Watt got the scoop and score for the touchdown.
Yeah.
Double Renegade works. It's legit.
Renegade works. They did that when I went to the Monday Night Football game last year, 2 years ago, Steelers-Bears, and they did Renegade, and it was immediate fumble for the Bears.
Yeah, it's magic.
It's how they keep their streak intact.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does feel like the Steelers are going to just be a perfect Mike Tomlin team that they won't go under 500, but probably also won't make the playoffs.
Yeah, and if I'm a Steelers fan, I wake up wondering, what has Matt Canada done to stick around?
Matt Canada sucked when he was at Wisconsin. He sucked forever.
Yeah.
He's been bad everywhere he's gone, and for some reason, he keeps getting jobs.
It's probably super nice.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably is super nice.
Sorry.
You're right.
Sorry about that third down play.
So, yeah, the other game.
Is he from Canada?
No.
Probably.
He's from
In this example, he is. They probably gave him the nickname Matt Canada because he was weak and inefficient, but super nice.
Mm-hmm. The other game, so it was the doubleheader. It was kind of crazy because it was like two games. Oh, this is going to be awesome. Two Monday Night Football games when both games just kind of sucked in their own special ways.
Yeah.
I do actually think that on a doubleheader, Kenny Pickett, Deshaun Watson, Bryce Young, Derek Carr, I think Taysom Hill was the best quarterback.
Taysom Hill looked pretty good.
He looked really good. And the Panthers, we said it with Steve Smith. They're just, it's not a Bryce Young thing. It's like there's no one who's getting separation. Adam Thielen is trying to make moves and he has no time. And I can't really judge what I'm seeing because it's not easy for him.
The one thing I didn't like about Bryce is he doesn't realize yet that defensive players are fast. Yeah. So he tries to scramble out of pockets a lot and use his legs to just buy some time, keep looking downfield, and he was just getting hit left and right.
Deshaun does that too.
Yeah.
He thinks he can just run away and just gets killed.
You get hit from behind. You're like, how'd that guy catch up to me? That didn't happen at Alabama.
Yeah, but the Saints and Panthers, I mean, that was a very boring game.
Derek Carr had a terrible interception in the first half.
He did. It was actually electric. I bet every quarterback to throw an interception. Bryce Young was the only one who didn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Everyone else threw an interception.
Yeah, there was one point where it was like 4 turnovers. Both games had double turnovers going on within probably like a 5-minute span.
Yeah.
It was like, why am I watching this? Oh, yeah, because it's football.
It's football, and we watch it.
Yeah.
And Andy Dalton got to come in for a sneak. That was kind of exciting. Mm-hmm. Andy Dalton and Josh McCown standing next to each other, all hair team.
Yeah.
That was a big moment. But yeah, that game, I guess it's better that there was a doubleheader. Although I still, and this is for people who have more than one TV, the ESPN, one game was on ESPN, one game was on ABC or ESPN2.
ABC and ESPN.
Okay, yeah. So the George Pickens touchdown, we found out about it before it happened because they changed the score bug on the ESPN Panthers Saints game.
Wait, was that an app thing? Were you watching?
I don't
on
know,
the app?
but it was.
I was watching the game on the app too.
Yeah.
So it might be like live TV duking it out.
It was
against
crazy.
The app. Yeah.
It was not like significant timing, but it was. The score changed. I looked down. George Pickens caught the ball. It's like, well, this is going to the house.
Yeah.
And George Pickens is such a psycho. I love him.
I do think he's the perfect amount of insane.
When he tried to hurdle someone for the guy was standing upright. He was like, I'm just going to jump into you. And it actually kind of worked for an extra yard. Yeah, because the guy was like, what was that move?
The guy like tried to catch him because it was like a dance move. It was like flash dance.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll catch you and I'll spin you around, George.
He didn't try and jump. He didn't try and hurdle.
Right.
Like he didn't lose his balance. He just jumped up in the air.
You know what? He gets the zoomies.
It's kind of sick.
He gets the zoomies.
And you need to get him the ball because he's gonna freak if he doesn't get the ball.
Yeah.
And the Steelers also their offense just looks so slow. Najee Harris, I don't know why he got so slow.
I don't know.
It's painful to watch how slow he is.
Was he always this slow?
No, he was not that slow at Alabama. He wasn't like a burner.
Yeah,
but he wasn't that slow.
I feel like in the NFL, even his rookie year, his great plays were jumping over people, which he loves to do, and then like running into somebody and bowling them over for like 3 yards, but he puts the guy on a poster.
Right.
But I don't think he was ever super fast in the NFL, but he looks slower somehow, and he's getting caught. He's not able to break it to the. If he bounces to the outside, he's getting tackled.
Right.
And he had one play though. There was one play where he got stopped in the backfield and then ran around the edge. Kenny Pickett threw an awesome block. Just really laid his shoulder into the guy. But besides that, it's painful to watch the Steelers offense. And another thing, if I'm a Steelers fan, we got to do something about Mike Tomlin's challenge situation.
Oh, he's so bad. But I think it's so funny how bad he is.
It is. It's very, very funny. It feels like a bit at this point because they'll show the replay.
Wait, he did win one though.
No, I don't think that was an actual challenge. They didn't count that as a challenge. Fumble? I think he tried to challenge it, but it was already overturned.
Got it. He should get credit.
He would have gotten that one right.
Yeah, he should get credit for that.
But the play, was it the Amari Cooper catch?
Yes.
And he threw the flag after they just showed the replay, and Troy Aikman was like, that's just a great catch by Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
And you saw the 2 feet down. Mike Tomlin is not watching the same game. Does he have a challenge guy? Or I think his challenge guy is his players. And his players, a defensive back, will always run up to you like, that guy didn't catch it. There's no way that guy got a catch on me.
I like how he challenges, though, because he challenges how any of us would challenge. It's just pure frustration.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's a 50-50 call. We got to go look at it. It's, fuck, how'd we give up that long third down? This is illegal. Challenge.
Yeah, I wish
that's exactly how I would challenge the NFL.
He does. I wish that play didn't happen.
Right.
Can we just
redo?
There's a mechanism in the NFL where you can eliminate a play. I don't care about what the rules are behind it. I'm just going to throw the flag that makes the play go back.
He's constantly doing like basketball, just check ball up top.
Yeah.
Let's reset this.
It's so bad.
It's not fair.
It's so bad. We've talked about it on the show, but there should be NFL coaches aren't great at watching football. They don't watch enough. They watch film, but they don't watch football on TV from the angles that we watch it at. We're better at knowing when you should throw the challenge flag than NFL coaches are.
Right.
If there's somebody out there that just spends all day Sunday, all night Monday, all night Thursday, all day Saturday watching football, you are better at knowing when to challenge a call is than an actual NFL head coach.
It's Malcolm Gladwell, 10,000 hours. I've watched more football than an NFL head coach.
We're experts.
It's not like a brag. You don't think so, Hank?
Not film.
No, but we're talking about football. The actual game.
Yeah. We've watched so much more football.
Right. Definitely. And that's when you're making the decision. It's not, again, like PFT said, it's not film like, how do I beat this defense? Obviously, coaches are way better than that at us, but we're talking about actual game footage
broadcast.
And when to challenge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like the NBC it angle where they zoom in real tight. Coaches don't know what that is.
They have no idea. They don't even know the yellow line.
They don't know the green zone.
Yeah.
They don't know the pylon cam. They don't know the sky cam.
I had to correct Jerry last night. The yellow line's not official because he was like, look. I was like, dude, yellow line not official.
To be fair to Jerry, they never say that on broadcasts.
They used to when they first well, they don't say it as much anymore. They first unveiled it, they said it all the time.
Yeah. It was like mandatory.
They need to send a reminder to everyone. Yellow line not official.
I think anybody that watches football knows that the yellow line's not official.
Yeah, but it gets confusing sometimes. You watch too much football.
Rich Eisen's Twitter bio.
What?
The yellow line's unofficial.
He is. That's a good one, Rich. That's a fucking good one. Mm-hmm. He got us there. All right, let's talk.
Never mind.
What?
No, I was going to make a joke, but I'm not going to say the joke.
You might as well say it now.
No, you guys. Somebody will know what the joke was.
Okay.
It was going to be a cheap shot at Hank and his quarterback.
Oh. Go ahead, just do it.
When Mac Jones is driving on the roads, the yellow line's not official there either.
True. Yeah.
Had a couple cocktails.
He needs a lighthouse to find a way to get home.
Speaking of the lighthouse.
Lighthouse talk.
Hank, I reached out.
Someone invited us to the lighthouse.
Yeah, we should go. I'll burn it down.
I got multiple invites. Can we podcast?
Be like the Ramsey Youssef of the lighthouse.
Stop talking about the fucking lighthouse. Listen, we'll stop talking about the lighthouse when Hank stops bringing it up every show.
Yes,
I don't bring it up. Shout out to Alexandra for inviting us.
Hank, since you brought it up, I do have a lighthouse update for you.
I did bring it up.
You did bring it up.
You did. I reached out to the United States Coast Guard Commander.
You already did this.
Well, I heard back from the Coast Guard.
Active?
Yes.
Is he active?
What do you mean active?
Is he
are you looking at this guy's credentials?
Well, some of these retired guys just start spouting off conspiracies just to get in the media.
Hank, he is a commander.
Current
commander.
Okay.
Salute,
all right.
Hank.
Yeah, no,
Commander Matt Kroll, Director, U.S. Coast Guard
Love this.
Motion Picture and Television Liaison Office.
Okay, so this is fake.
Yep, love this.
He's a commander.
Commander.
Respect the commanders. They're 2-0.
The commander part?
My name
Commander of Television?
Can I finish? It sounds like you don't want to hear the facts.
Sounds like all you want to do is talk about the lighthouse.
My name is PFT Commenter, and I do the Part of My Take Sports podcast for Barstool Sports. I'm writing to you concerning a matter of public debate surrounding lighthouses, which I understand fall under the purview of the United States Coast Guard. Recently, a dispute has emerged regarding the legitimacy of the new 208-foot-tall, quote, lighthouse that was constructed at Gillette Stadium. It was built to replace the old lighthouse, which was rendered obsolete due to being completely blocked out by the stadium's new Jumbotron. On one side of the debate are Patriots fans who claim that this is the tallest lighthouse in the United States.
Hank.
The team has made numerous public statements to that regard, and many supporters of the organization believe it to be true. On the other side of the debate are those who recognize the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse as being the tallest U.S. lighthouse, and if the Gillette Stadium Lighthouse qualifies as being the tallest, we must then acknowledge that Lady Liberty herself, which actually functioned at one time as a lighthouse, would be the rightful holder of the title, as she stands nearly 100 feet taller than the Gillette Stadium structure.
And is on water.
I wanted to ask for the Coast Guard's official opinion on the matter, given the public discourse surrounding the claims. Publications of note, such as the Sports Business Journal, have taken to regurgitating the Gillette Stadium press releases and backing their claims. As you can imagine, this has led to a lot of confusion. Commander Cole writes back, "Good morning. Thank you for reaching out. I attached our Lighthouse fact sheet that should help answer some of your questions. It clearly lists Cape Hatteras as the tallest, which refers to the total length of the structure itself. This is why the Statue of Liberty at 151 feet without her pedestal would not be considered the tallest. Cape Mendocino is actually the highest above sea level at 515. I hope your listeners enjoy these Lighthouse facts, and please let me know if you have any additional questions."
I did.
Per the United States Coast Guard, the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse is the official tallest lighthouse in the United States, not your fucked up Fugazi piece of bullshit.
Well, I don't know. When do they update those records? Maybe it's like
today, because the guy wrote me back.
No, but like maybe it's like that's, like old
Madden.
old Madden games. Like old Madden games.
To reply and say, are these updated as of today?
I asked him the question on Saturday. He wrote me back yesterday.
But it is a very new lighthouse.
Yeah, but
those are just general guidelines.
No, he says.
What's? Did you open the attachment?
I did open the attachment.
That seems like a sheet that maybe needs to be updated.
Yeah, it's like a Madden game. You don't have to wait until the next year for an updated roster.
PFT, you got to reply, and we got to update the people on Friday.
Tallest lighthouse, Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. That's a fact.
Just reply and be like, "Is this current as of today, September 20th?" And then on Friday we'll let everyone know.
Okay.
When we do our lighthouse segment.
I just thought that was interesting that the Coast Guard itself says that you're
one guy from the director of television.
He's a commander. Commander, Hank.
Show some fucking respect, Hank.
So your lighthouse is stolen valor.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's not.
You're claiming that it's a lighthouse when in fact,
and you're also claiming it's the tallest lighthouse.
It is the tallest lighthouse.
Not, all right. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out when we do the follow up. I'm happy we had this.
I'm going to make some calls. No, now that I know.
Who are you going to call?
Who are you going to call?
I got plenty of Coast Guard connects.
You got a lighthouse guy?
Okay.
Are they commanders?
Yeah, probably.
All right, you bring your facts, and PFT will bring his.
Yeah, we'll have a fact
off. Yeah. Okay.
Is there anything higher than commander? General?
I don't know.
Chief of staff? I don't know. Commander? General? Yeah.
I don't think the Coast Guard has generals, do they?
I don't know. Okay. Well, either way, let's talk some college football.
At least I didn't get caught kissing Vicky Butterman's big butt in the woods.
That's not true. Oh, boys. Did I interrupt?
Mom, you stupid bitch, get out of here.
Well, pardon me. And pardon my chicken tenders.
50, your mom is so cool. And she's hot. She's my stepmom. Oh, okay, well, your stepmom is really hot. Yeah, she is. Yeah! Oh, yeah. Touchdown!
My boys love their chicken tenders.
Pardon my cheesesteaks, new menu is here. The Big Cat Combo, Chicken Bacon Ranch cheesesteaks, and chicken tenders.
Before we get to some college football talk, we're brought to you by ourselves. Pardon My Cheesesteak has just unleashed a menu that will have your mouth watering in no time. Hold on to your taste receptors because we're introducing the stars of the show, the chicken bacon ranch cheesesteak, the irresistible chicken tenders, and the monumental Big Cat combo. Whether you're a cheesesteak aficionado, a finger food enthusiast, or simply someone who values the art of comfort cuisine, this menu has something for everyone. Order now on pardonmycheesesteak.com, also available on Uber Eats. So go check it out. We got new menu items. It's football season. Go check it out. PardonMyCheesesteak.com or Uber Eats. College football. Let's start with the only way you can start.
Alabama's washed.
Alabama is so washed.
Done. Nick Saban is so bad at coaching football, Big Cat. He is one of the worst football coaches in college.
Did you see the video of Nick Saban coming? Because they played USF. There was a weather delay. And they were coming into the locker room. It was just pouring on them. And they were coming into the locker room. And there was like maybe a 3-second video of Nick Saban walking into the locker room wet, tired, sad. And that was the first time where I was like, oh, Nick Saban, like the thoughts might creep in. Like, why the fuck am I doing this right now?
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Unless Nick Saban is the type of hyper-competitive coach where he wants to put together a solid season without having a good quarterback at all.
Yeah, so Jalen Milroe's back to being the starter. It does feel different than the past times that Alabama has, quote-unquote, been down, because even like when you look at, I think the last time they were outside of the top 10 was maybe 2015. And I believe they won a national title that year. So like every time you look for Alabama stat that's like, ooh, Alabama trending down, it's like, well, then they won a national title within a year of that.
Yeah, it doesn't look good though. Like I don't see a way that they climb out into contention in the SEC with the current roster that they have, with this current program that they have in place right now. He'll probably get like a beast of a quarterback next year. They'll be fine because it's not like Nick Saban stopped recruiting elite defensive players and elite skill position players and elite offensive linemen. They're probably actually one piece away.
And they also, the craziest part is I think that we're so used to Alabama obviously being so dominant. It's not that they have quarterbacks that are, if you look at them, they're all top recruits and they're guys that were heralded coming out of high school. It just hasn't translated. So Jalen Milroe is back to being the starter. Yeah. I actually think that's the right move, because at least with Jalen Milroe, even though the throwing is not really there, you can at least make explosive plays running.
The question just occurred to me, Big Cat. Did we Texas back ourselves the same way that we Texas backed ourselves back in like 2017?
When they beat
Notre Dame?
Yeah, they beat it down. Well, Texas struggled with Wyoming.
Yeah, I know.
They were in they ended up winning by like 28, but the fourth quarter,
I think we might have backed ourselves into a corner on that because everyone thought that this was like a huge win against an elite program that's going to dominate this year. Maybe not win a national championship, but at least be, relatively Alabama-like. And they win a big game, primetime, everybody's watching it, and then they struggle the next week. Now I'm starting to doubt my entire Texas is going to make the college football playoff take.
Well, it feels like this college football season, I hope I'm right, because these are the best college football seasons. No one's really that good. Because you had also Georgia struggling with South Carolina in the first half. I think Georgia is still very, very good. Don't get me wrong. But because their schedule is so weak, we're going to be able to say who have they played all year long. Michigan has not played a team yet. They've just been rolling through people. You saw Oregon struggle at Texas Tech. Washington actually has been dominant. Mm-hmm. But maybe there's a lot of really good teams, but no superpower team.
Which I love.
That's the best college football.
I love it. It's going to be chaos down the stretch. I can't wait for it. I think Alabama is going to be good, but I am concerned about the fact that Texas may have beaten a fraudulent Alabama team.
We'll find out this weekend.
And now we're going to find out. This weekend's schedule is so awesome. But before we get to this weekend, there is a very important update that we have to give on Iowa's quest for 25 points per game. I bet the team total over on Iowa, thinking in the back of my head, he's got a chance to rack up some points this week after starting 20 points, 24 points. They were only averaging 22 going into this weekend. And then Brian Ferentz keeps his offense on the field. They go for it on fourth down to try to. It also covered the spread, but it also just gave them meaningless points. It was 41-10 as opposed to being 34-10.
Correct.
So they cover the spread and they hit the team total over. bringing their average up to a whopping 28.3 points per
sitting
game.
good right now. He's got to go to Happy
good.
Valley this weekend, but he's sitting good as it stands right now. Yeah. It is so funny that, and I've seen some Iowa fans being like, let's stop talking about it. It's like, you put it in his contract.
Yeah, it's like
insane.
When the Cardinals put in Kyler Murray's contract, hey, you have to watch actual film and not play video games all the time. We're going to talk about it because it's there. It's also a fun storyline to keep track of.
Yes, it is. All right, so the other big story, obviously, is Colorado. And we saw an electric atmosphere. 9.3 million people watched on Saturday night, late kickoff. Colorado State was such a fun game to watch. It was like a game and then also a sideshow of who can we interview on the sidelines and just, the late hits, the Travis Hunter who hurt or injured, Morgan hurt or injured, lacerated liver.
Yeah.
I think that's injured.
No, I'm going to say it's hurt. I basically played from 26 until I was 35 with the equivalent of a lacerated liver. I showed up to work every day, did this podcast. It's not that big. The liver reheals itself. It's amazing. Basically, Travis Hunter's hungover.
Yeah, and so thank you to Morgan & Morgan, our wonderful sponsor, hurt or injured. He did a Twitch stream where he was dressed up as kangaroo, cheetah. I don't know what he was dressed up.
He was wearing pajamas, giraffe pajamas.
Giraffe pajamas. He had looked like some anime pillows in the background. He had a PlayStation controller pillow. And he was like, I would have kept. It's so funny because he's like one of the best athletes, and it's kind of cool. I feel like he's going to get big time sponsorships just by being, whenever an athlete is also a nerd.
Yeah.
And it was like, what's this?
He's got a race car bed.
Yeah. But he said he would have kept playing if it weren't for the doctors. So thankfully the doctors were like, hey, dude, you have an internal injury that is very bad.
Yeah, that was a dirty ass hit that he took too on the sideline. So he had like 3 or 4 steps to prepare himself. The safety that was coming in 3 or 4 steps to pull up and then just lay it into him. It was bad, and I feel bad for Travis Hunter. Obviously, that's a tough injury, especially when your coach, after you lacerate your liver, your coach is like, yeah, he should be back in 3 to 4 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah.
I'd be like, let's give it a couple of days to see how it's doing before we say that. I feel bad for him that he's going to have to sit out, that he's dealing with that injury. But I also feel bad for us as college football fans, and we don't get to watch Travis Hunter.
And I also feel bad for the kid who obviously was a late hit, dirty hit, but it was kind of ridiculous. Like, I guess by the time the game ended, his phone number, his address, his parents' phone number, his parents' address had been leaked on the internet. People were going pretty crazy at him. Dion did a good job today of dampering that down by just being like, what is everyone doing? Like, we've made our peace. It was a dirty hit, but we can't, this is crazy. There were some people who were saying that he should be kicked out of the NCAA. I actually thought Sir Jermajesti Jackson had the best take on it. He said, you're all doing too much now, bruh. Terrible play. He should have been ejaculated. As soon as I seen that hit, I would have ejaculated him. But to say he needs to be banned from competing in college football ever again is crazy, dog. You're all acting soft as fuck.
Actually, I like that take a lot because it takes all the aggression out of him. He's probably not going to do a dirty late hit. Like if somebody was on the sidelines assigned to jack off,
milk him.
Vontez perfect.
Yeah.
In the middle of a game, Antonio Brown would probably still be on the Steelers.
It also would have been embarrassing for him. You'd have to come in front of everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a classic mix-up.
Yeah.
Words sound similar.
Ejaculate.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Colorado. So I have a question for you guys. And obviously we are in a different position because we know Dion personally. Why is Dion getting so much hate? I don't get it.
Is he getting hate?
I think people are rooting for Colorado to lose very badly, and I think they will lose against Oregon.
I don't feel like people are rooting for them to win.
Yeah, they're rooting
like the most bet team.
Yeah.
I know the bets. I'm saying though, it feels like a lot of people want Colorado. Like you had Danny Cannell, which was very funny because Danny Cannell went after Dion, and then someone pointed out that the last pass Danny Cannell threw as a starter was a pick 6 to Dion.
Yeah,
and they're like, maybe this is why. There's just maybe I'm way off, but it is a very fun story. You love in sports when someone talks the talk and then backs it up. I do think they'll probably lose to Oregon, but it's it's the college football story in the first month of the year. I think maybe people are just fatigued with talking about Colorado. I don't know.
I don't think people
Lil
are
Wayne, they had The Rock.
I know. I know
it's
that.
so sick.
But whenever someone gets big, the haters come out.
I don't think they're out.
Downfall.
I don't think they're out yet. I think it's still a fun story that most people are rooting for.
I think if they lose to Oregon, it will be hater
when the
parade.
visor and or the guy that wears the visor, Norvell, when he was like, yeah, I take off my glasses, my hat when I talk to adults. That's what my mom taught me. Everybody was like, this guy fucked up.
Yeah.
I think people are rooting for Colorado to win because it's a fun story. And especially like you can talk about Deion, but also his players are pretty good. Like his son is legitimately one of the best quarterbacks in Division I football. And he's had, it's his second come from behind win in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, 98-yard drive.
98-yard drive. He's legitimately awesome. He's fun to watch. He seems like a nice guy. Deion, I think for the most part, has been likable Deion. He hasn't crossed that line where it's like, okay, Deion is now like being over cocky, making it too much about himself. That will probably happen at some point if they beat Oregon, if they continue to win. Then you'll get people rooting against him. But I feel like for the most part, it's 90% love for Colorado.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of love. I guess I'm more just expecting what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Being like, they're frauds. Like, no, they're playing a really good Oregon team in Autzen Stadium. It's going to be a very difficult game.
If Deion was the coach of Florida State and he was having a lot of success right off the bat, I think people would be like, I'm sick of Deion. I hope somebody beats him. But the fact that it's Colorado that has been so bad for so long, and I just saw today, they sold out the rest of their season in Boulder. And it's the first time that it's ever happened.
And they probably did that before they realized that the USC game is going to be 10 a.m. local time.
Oh, that stinks.
That's tough for college kids. Yeah, they want to get the big noon kickoff. So 10 a.m. USC will be playing game clock 9 a.m.
Yeah, we gotta think. Okay, Danny that's a given. That's like the free space in the center when you're playing.
Oh, so
when
funny.
You're playing bingo. Like what other college football pundit or media member will be the first to turn on Deion?
Oh,
I think it might be Urban.
Ooh,
I feel like Urban
that's
Meyer.
a coach to coach thing.
That's never stopped Urban before.
He did the commercials.
He did
it with
commercials.
Nick Saban.
It was Saban. Half-line.
Yeah,
Same thing.
Same guy.
Not the same guy. Not the same guy. But yeah, Colorado is an awesome story to watch.
Yeah,
it's really all like sometimes it's fun. I think what I'm thinking about it is it's similar to like Conor McGregor. When Conor McGregor would talk his shit and then backed it up over and over, people loved it. And then when he loses, it's like the avalanche comes.
Yeah.
So it's maybe like I'm anticipating the avalanche, but no matter what, already. Colorado season's a success. They won one game last year.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Stanford Steve. I think Stanford Steve will be the first to turn on Deion.
Yeah.
That piece of shit. We need to get him back on the show.
Yeah, we do got to get him back on the show. All right, other college football stories. Penn State looks good. Max, you ready for Iowa?
Yeah, I think we're going to smoke Iowa.
Ooh, and Ohio State Notre Dame's going to be awesome on Saturday.
So many good games.
So many good games.
I have to fly on Saturday at some point, and there's no good time to fly.
Yeah. We also had my favorite quote of the week was from UTSA head coach Jeff Traylor. After they lost, I believe it was Friday night, he said, frustrating, man. There's got to be an easier way to make a living somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's a good sign of confidence.
I like that.
Like, you know the season's going well, and you're like, what if I just did like mall security?
Didn't that guy also say, like, I miss the days when kickers and punters could smoke cigarettes and drink beer?
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Back when you could have fun in America.
He's fun. He's fun.
You can't spell nutsack without UTSA. That's what Chaps taught me.
That's a fact. But yeah, this weekend is going to be awesome. I'm very, very excited. And Colorado, Oregon, like, I think Oregon's going to win by a lot. Oh, I know what I want to say. Hank, you went to the Michigan State bar.
Yeah.
Washington I might have to put a future on Washington. They're so electric.
Washington looked really good.
They
Michigan
put up like
State
700 plus yards.
Penix is good.
Yeah.
Michigan State has a quarterback that can't throw and they can't tackle on defense.
Those seem important.
One of the worst combinations you can have. It was tough.
So what's next?
How are the fans? Real quick, give us a lowdown on what's the vibe like with Michigan State fans.
Oh, yeah. Did you get our Mel Tucker report?
Mel Tucker report is that they are number 2 preseason ranked college basketball.
Oh,
everyone just kept being
report.
like, they just kept being like,
good report.
Our basketball team is going to be sick.
That's
like,
a good
don't
spin
worry
zone,
about it.
That's
like
a great job
we're
by Michigan
preseason
State.
ranked number 2.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people there. That's the crazy thing. even though Nebraska was terrible, Michigan State was terrible. Like the people show up, they were expecting a win. I thought it might happen, and then they got 35-pieced in the first half.
Yeah. So what's this weekend? Iowa? You going to Four Shadows?
Nits.
I was thinking maybe Purdue
on Friday night against Wisconsin. You motherfucker.
Well,
he knows what he's doing.
You motherfucker.
No, that's good for you.
No.
Hank's two teams have been outscored, I think, 77-21.
Oh, but Hank will find a way.
Is Hank the kiss of death?
Yes.
If I do Iowa, they're going to lose. If I do Penn State,
you do Penn State with Max.
Yeah.
Yeah, do Penn State with Max.
I got some Penn State buddies coming to town this weekend.
Oh, the kisser?
Boy.
The kisser cannot come.
Damn.
That's a lie.
Hank,
the kisser's definitely coming.
Hank, you know you should do Purdue. You should do it.
It's Friday night, though.
Do it,
Who
Hank.
cares?
Yeah, but that's good for you, Big Cat.
Do it, Hank.
Stop, Jake. He's going to they're going to win, and he's going to rub it in my face. Don't do it.
Do it.
Whatever.
Do it,
I don't
Hank.
care.
Hank, question.
You piece of shit.
Fact or fiction? It would be good for the show if your Boilermakers beat Big Cat's Badgers.
I don't want to be a Boilermaker, though, but I also don't know when to do it. I don't know when else to. I gotta,
They're playing.
They got the big drum.
Purdue might be playing in Evanston.
Neil Armstrong.
Dude, why
Syracuse
don't you
just beat Purdue on the road?
Why don't you just do Ohio State? This is the game to get up for.
True.
Yeah.
True.
That would be the most electric atmosphere.
True. Go with Mark.
And it's a 3-point spread, so you're not going to get blown out.
I think it's a good call.
Yeah.
You'd be such a
do
piece
Michigan.
of shit if you became a Buckeye fan.
Yeah.
I would hate that.
That would actually be very funny. Just rolling around.
Duke, Patriots, Cowboys.
You could use the same. You could use the same jean shorts you have for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You should do that. That's gonna be I'm so excited for that game. Let me see what Purdue's schedule. I think they do play in Evanston. I think they might even play it. I think there's a game at Wrigley this year.
Ooh.
Yeah. Which would be fun. All right. Well, your teams, so far, what's the combined score?
I think 77-21.
Oh, yikes.
Double check that, but
we left it. I left the bar at halftime. It was over.
You just like, fuck this.
What's your statement on Mel Tucker, Hank?
Good riddance.
No, you number 2 in basketball.
Number 2 in basketball.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Number 2 in basketball, dude. It's pretty easy. Number 2 in basketball. Iowa's playing at Northwestern at Wrigley. That'd be fun. Maybe that's your Northwestern game. Yeah.
PFT.
That'd be fun. I'll go with you. Root on my Wildcats.
Yep.
My Dukes won. You see that?
Yeah.
This should have been the Sun Belt Championship from last year that JMU was not allowed to play in because of antiquated NCAA rules. But we went to Troy. We won 16-14. Utah State. We take care of business. Then maybe some people are saying game day.
Ooh.
Game day in Harrisonburg. We'll see.
Game day. Okay, let's do Hot Seat Chill Throne. And Hot Seat Chill Throne is brought to you by our friends at Coors Light. Game day just got a whole lot chiller because this season you can take your whole tailgate to the next level with the Coors Light Chill Throne. The only seat specifically designed for tailgating all game day long with features like Bluetooth speakers, stadium turf, leg rest, a cup holder that chills your Coors Light to a perfect 36 degrees Fahrenheit, and a Coors Light can tap to pour one for a pal. The Chill Throne is an innovation every tailgate has been waiting for. So starting now, you can get the PMT Chill Throne. Yup, the one that Hank's sitting in right now. The PMT Chill Throne that's been on the show all season. Signed and sat in by us and our guests. It's up for auction on eBay. Auction is live from September 28th to September 30th. Bid to become the MVP of your entire tailgate. Game day will never be the same with the Hot Seat Chill Throne, PMT Chill Throne by Coors Light. Love it. All right, Hank, what's your hot seat and chill throne?
My hot seat is the U.S. military.
Uh-oh. You hate them. The Coast Guard, this story.
Well, PFT, you can tell me, F-35, are those, how expensive is an F-35?
Off the top of my head, if they're on sale, you can get one for $60 million, but they're probably like closer to $70, $80 million.
Are they important?
They're very important, to the future of electronic warfare.
Hey, did you guys hear this one? Did you see this one? The U.S. has lost over $100 million of jets the last week.
Oh,
Aaron Rodgers and the jet.
And the new
you
jet.
See that one?
Yeah, that's
pretty
a
good.
one.
That's pretty good.
So for a while, the
F-35 Lightning.
The F-35 Lightning, they just lost it. They said, we don't know where it is.
Uh-huh.
And then it turns out that it crashed, and they're worried that it got hacked.
Oh.
Yeah.
How,
I don't think it got hacked. Have you seen the inside of one of these things?
Just poor piloting?
It could have been.
Sounds like you don't respect the troops.
It could have been poor piloting. It could have been, I saw one report that he might have flown it directly into a storm, or she. probably she. And then they had to bail out and eject, and the plane kept flying, and it went like, I don't know, 70 miles and crashed.
That's insane.
Yeah,
it is insane. It is crazy that we weren't able to find this plane for like 24 hours. The craziest part is that the military asked Americans for help. They're like, hey, my bad. It used to be back in the day, back when the military, before it went woke, when we just crashed a bomber that had a nuclear-armed bomb on it into a swamp in North Carolina, and then we just pretend it didn't happen for 40 years. Mm-hmm. That's how we used to do things back when men were men. Now we crash one F-35, and the government hops on Twitter. It's like, hey, can you help us track this thing down? We don't
Anyone
really
hear a
look
plane
for it.
crash?
Yeah, they basically they crowdsourced looking for an $80 million for the future of American warfare.
Yeah, you hear a big boom on Saturday?
Yeah, so
let us know.
We found it. I don't know if it got hacked, Hank. There was one report that came out yesterday that the Marine Corps issued guidance saying like, hey, we're grounding all these flights to do, I guess just like safety prep and stuff. And everyone was like, oh, they must be hacked. I don't think they got hacked. China's sending weather balloons over here. China. Bring on the weather balloons. Well, I'll shoot down a weather balloon with my eyes closed.
Sounds like you're like in the Chinese pockets.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Sounds like
this thing got hacked.
Yeah.
How could you be a pilot and not look at the fucking weather?
I don't know.
Like, weather's not real.
I'm going to take out the F-35 for a quick spin. Hope it's not raining.
Maybe trying to hack the weather.
Yeah.
And they made the storm. You ever think of that, Hank?
That's true too.
I think that's more likely.
You're just trying to, rub wool over
our
eyes.
I'm trying to rub wool over
You know what would help
Hank's
this plane find its way home?
A pilot?
No.
Yeah, a pilot could call.
A lighthouse.
A lighthouse would have.
A lighthouse.
Yeah, if they had a real lighthouse, that plane would never get lost. Get some tall beacons. Yeah.
I'm never going to stop at the lighthouse. It makes me laugh every time. All right, Hank, what's your chill
We
throne?
should go.
No, I think it's funnier if we never go.
Well, that's what I realized. So I was thinking about it, why PFT keeps talking about this lighthouse. Why
you bring it up.
You just brought it up.
And
you
like,
talked
it's
about
like
the plane.
we get invited, we can go. And then I remembered PFT's too scared of heights to actually go up.
Oh, here we go. You're lashing out.
That's why he hates it. He's like, oh my God, tall, scary, tall.
Yeah, you're lashing out, Hank. That's fine. That's fine.
Well, I was just trying to
I can tell it's
why
really
does
hurts
PFT hate this fucking lighthouse so much? And I was like, oh yeah, it's tall. He hates.
But the better question is, why do you keep bringing it up?
I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done. But we should go.
Okay.
Sure. I'm sure you're done. All right.
But
chill
we should
throne.
go.
Yeah,
Okay.
but we should go.
Well, me and Big Cat should go.
Would you fuck the lighthouse?
Yeah.
You just
it's
brought
big.
it up
It's
again,
too big.
Hank.
It's too big. It's probably too big for me. It wouldn't fit inside.
Your chill throne.
My chill throne is Sean McVay.
Okay.
He said the reason that he kicked the field goal with 2 seconds left or 3 seconds left in the game, down 10, was to avoid getting Matthew Stafford hurt.
Oh, yeah. It's tough. You get a lot of quarterbacks hurt on kneel downs.
Did you see? Did you see also?
He was like, we were thinking we were gonna, get a downfield play and have enough time to kick a field goal, get an onside kick, and then once we got down there, we just said let's kick the field goal.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Did you see also? Ravel was like, I tried to join the Zoom for Sean McVay's press conference. They didn't let me in. Very suspicious for not letting a gambling reporter in. It's like, hey, dude, Ravel, maybe you're just annoying.
Yeah.
Like that probably was it.
Yeah, sometimes the simplest explanation is the right one.
Right.
I think with Ravel, it's like, why does everyone keep blocking me from all these things? They must be afraid of my reporting.
Yeah, they don't want to hear the truth. No, we just don't want to hang out with you. Pretty simple, even if it's on a Zoom. All right, your hot seat chill throne, PFT.
I was actually going to do the lighthouse on the hot seat because we reached out to the Coast Guard for comment, but we've already gone
Hank
through that.
brought it up again.
I don't want to relitigate it. Yeah.
Hank.
I got work to do.
Oh, here he goes. He's doing it again.
I got work to do.
Stop bringing it up.
Stop bringing it up.
So my hot seat is going to be.
I got one for you.
Yeah, I got another one. The seat that's right next to Lauren Boebert.
Oh,
because a report came out that she's single again. Number one,
it was a first,
and that it was her first date with this guy.
So
that she was jacking off
Even
at Beetlejuice
hotter.
the musical, which is fucking hot.
Even
like this,
hotter.
You know me, Big Cat. I like grandmothers, right?
Yeah.
We got Sister Jean, Virginia McCaskey, Lauren Boebert, all the grandmothers. Yeah.
Dude, first date.
Is there still a bonk list this year?
That's not. I'm not being horny. I'm being normal.
Yeah.
If you're not horny with the Lauren Boebert thing, you're telling on yourself for being super horny, so horny that you're afraid to admit it.
And also, the bonk list should not have us trying to book guests like Tiffany Gomez,
Yes.
which we're trying to book.
Correct. So if you see us,
That's just a regular booking of a guest.
if you see us interacting with Tiffany, please be cool about it. We're not being horny. We'd like to interview her and get her story, her side of things.
PFT's trying to get her on the show, and I DM'd her. I said, "Hey, what's up, Tiffany? Thanks for the follow. My co-host and good friend PFT is a pretty awesome dude. I think you guys connected, but wanted to give you the heads up that he rocks. LOL."
Yeah, I do rock. There are a couple true things in that statement. Number one, I rock. I'm a pretty awesome dude, and I have made contact with Tiffany Gomez, and I think she's interested in coming on the show. So
Let's go.
everybody be chill, be very cool. Don't fuck this up.
Memes did call dibs.
Yeah. So after I said, okay, I'm going to try to get her on the show, Memes just goes, oh, she followed part of my take too. I'm going to DM her.
Yeah. And then he said it again. He was like, "Do you guys want me to DM her?"
Yeah. No, Memes, we're good. We got
it. We got it, bro.
Daddy's got it, Memes.
No problem. All
Daddy-
right, why don't you stand over there?
Daddy's bringing it home.
All right. Okay.
He's going to land this plane.
But I will respect dibs.
Unless it's a storm.
Shut the
And you
fuck
need a
up, Hank.
lighthouse.
My cool throne is Bills Mafia.
Yeah.
Bills Mafia's back. Big time.
Oh yeah, I saw this.
Big time. So there was a Bills fan on Sunday's game with the Raiders in town that got naked, I believe. He might have been naked. No, he's covered in shit. He was on LSD, coke, drunk, and he was covered in human shit, and he jumped into a pit at the Bills' new stadium site. And he got charged with trespassing, which I'm sorry, I thought this was America. Guys can't have fun in America. Kickers can't smoke cigarettes, drink beer, and a Bills fan can't take LSD.
Crazy.
And climb into the future home of the Buffalo Bills.
Crazy.
I love this from Bills Mafia. I feel like it's been a while since we've seen a crazy Bills fan story, so it's good to have this back in the system. But yeah, taking LSD, he probably saw the future. He probably took LSD, saw the site that they were going to construct the stadium at. He's like, I'm going to go watch a Bills game in the future at their future home.
Yes.
And he happened to be covered in shit. I don't know.
That could happen to anyone.
I don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
But whatever. He was 29 years old. We all make mistakes when we're younger, but I feel like Bills Mafia is officially back.
He's barely an adult.
Yeah. So
He's just a kid, 29 years old.
I don't like the fact that I have to deal with this going into the Bills playing the Commanders this weekend. Feels like things are breaking the right way for the Bills. They're 1-0 since this guy climbed into the future stadium on LSD naked, covered in shit.
And then maybe it's a win-1 for the poop acid guy.
It might be. Yeah, this could be an acid bet.
Yeah.
So I feel a little nervous about that, but I am happy for Bills fans that they're back to their old selves.
Yes. All right. My hot seat, I got two. The first is Russell Wilson. He might have to go back to a wristband. So Sean Payton was like, we're not getting the plays in time. It was very funny because Sean Payton was like, I'm frustrated. We're not getting the calls out. We might have to go to a wristband. And then Russell Wilson got interviewed right after, and he was like, I thought we were doing a great job.
Yeah.
Like maybe one or two times we didn't, but yeah, we rocked that.
Can somebody explain to me what the issue is with wearing a wristband? I know a lot of quarterbacks don't want to wear one.
They might steal it.
They might go, what do you mean?
The other team might steal it.
Oh, they might take the wristband.
Yeah, they might take it.
So Russ is just being a good guardian
Very
of the
cautious.
wristband.
Yes.
Okay.
And then my other hot seat is the Tampa Bay Rays. So they got a new stadium coming.
Oh.
Put out some pretty cool future graphics of the stadium, and didn't really look closely when they were doing that because it's a bunch of fans walking this beautiful concourse, and one of them was wearing a Wander Franco jersey.
Oh no. Jake's favorite player.
Whoops.
They're also staying in St. Pete, which I guess people wanted them closer to Tampa.
Oh. Is that a rivalry?
No,
St.
it's not.
Pete and Tampa?
I mean, Tampa's just more centrally located for people.
But St.
there.
Pete's St. Pete.
People forget there's no actual city called Tampa Bay.
Yeah. It's Tampa and St. Pete.
Tampa, yeah.
It's just the water.
It's in a bay.
It's true.
Yeah.
But that's tough.
Yeah. Wander Franco jersey. You gotta do one last look to make sure.
Yeah. You got to, every single piece of promotion material that comes out, have a guy with a magnifying glass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like, where's Waldo?
Yeah. And then my chill throne is running backs. So obviously the Nick Chubb injury was terrible, but thankfully Robert Griffin III is back on it. So he said after the game, NFL running backs need to have another Zoom meeting and figure out a way to make sure what has happened to Saquon Barkley and Nick Chubb doesn't happen again. Underpaying top-level running backs because they have a higher injury chance and then overusing them is bonkers. So RG3 is the one person in the world who thought that Zoom meeting did anything?
Yeah, I think so. He's like
this reads like a tweet that we would send as a joke, but he's being serious.
So I think Well, I saw the news that came out right before the Nick Chubb injury that the NFL is now filing a grievance against the NFLPA because apparently and allegedly, I don't know if this is true, but allegedly during that Zoom meeting, the running backs discussed ways that they can maintain a little bit of leverage or gain leverage, and they threw out their feigning or exaggerating injuries.
That's what Nick Chubb did?
And so apparently Nick Chubb just faked his knee falling apart last night, which is wild. But no, apparently on the Zoom call, this is what somebody discussed, like maybe we could just like play up injuries a little bit more.
Right.
And then that would give us the opportunity to not have a real injury happen. And then we get to the contract sooner with their bodies intact. So I don't know if the NFL heard about that. And now they're saying we need to attack the Players Association. I don't know if RG3 knew that going into that the players had this master stroke, this 14-dimensional chess move of like faking a hamstring. Again.
But just RG3's being like, here's the solution, another Zoom.
Yeah.
We'll figure this out. We can't have these injuries happen. Let's get a Zoom to talk about how we can't have injuries happen anymore.
Could have been an email, RG3.
Yeah. So good job. Maybe the running backs will get on another Zoom. Okay. Jake.
My hot seat's Disney World. A bear was on the loose in the park, and they had to close 10 rides.
Ooh. Oh, wow. Bears are back.
Yeah, bears are back. Pretty crazy.
Which rides?
Pretty crazy.
How are bears in Florida?
That's a good question, Hank.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that was about to be someone gave me a quick dumb question look.
No, I mean, I don't know anything about bear populations in Florida, but when I hear bears, I think definitely not Disney World.
No.
Was that the Country Bear Jamboree? The racist?
That was...
Was it the racist bear?
No. It was a real bear.
A Berenstein?
No.
Huh.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what the bear's doing in Florida.
Yeah.
Okay.
My cool throwing is Stella Blue Coffee.
Oh.
And pickleball.
Plug God.
Oh.
God.
Yes.
Plug God. Let's go.
I'm heading down to Atlanta. I will be...
He
Stella
just
Blue
threw
Coffee.
his head back so violently at the plug God that he injured himself.
I will be representing the DC pickleball team, sponsored by Stella Blue Coffee.
That's true.
At the MLP event,
We also named that team, Jake.
the DC pickleball team.
Yeah.
Yeah. And come by. You can come watch, get tickets.
Great. Are you going to play?
I might play matches. I'm not going to play in a tournament.
Why not?
I mean, it's MLP.
Okay.
It's MLP, big cat.
So let's fucking get you in the tournament.
Awesome respect for the MLP.
I have respect for the MLP, but we should get...
This is like when we say we could step onto the field in the NFL and rush for 5 yards. No, we would die in the back. You step on a pickleball player who's in the MLP, he's going to put one through your eye hole.
Jake, you're ready for the MLP.
I can do it.
Yeah.
I'll play with them.
Yeah.
If you're an MLP player listening, I'll play with you this weekend.
This
week, Thursday, Friday.
This is game week.
Yeah. I loved Hank's reaction because I think it was to Jake turning on the plug God voice.
Yeah.
Once he started jumping into
Am I Chill Throne?
in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Chill Throne.
Chill Throne. Am I Chill Throne?
Yeah.
Is the Chill Throne.
Stella Blue Coffee?
Yeah.
MLP.
So I'm excited to represent Stella Blue and DC Pickleball Thursday and Friday. Come by.
Love it.
Yeah, in Atlanta.
Okay. Good hot seat Chill Thrones, everyone. Let's get to our interviews. We have two. We have Sam Howell, one question with the quarterback. But before we do that, we have Brian Hoyer. So a lot of questions with the quarterback.
Multiple questions.
Before we do that, PFT, you got a couple ads.
Yeah, before we get into Brian Hoyer, I want to talk to you about Body Armor. We're drinking Body Armor. Body Armor is delicious. It's tasty, and it is super, super refreshing. Our guests are always sponsored by Body Armor, and Body Armor hydrates the best athletes in the world. More importantly, it hydrates us during interviews. Buy Body Armor today. Visit the Body Armor Amazon store or at retailers nationwide. The interview is also brought to you by Bushmills. That's right. We just put out a bunch of Part of My Take golf videos. There are 3 videos that went out: the Silent Scramble, the Speed Golf, the Sub Part of My Take. People really enjoyed Jake's last hole.
The speed golf. The last hole.
It was awesome.
You choked as hard as I've ever seen you
Stop
choke
it,
in my
Hank.
life.
Stop
PFT.
it.
No, I was the one hitting. Blame me.
I didn't.
Were you hitting your putter?
I didn't have his putter
At
ready
the
for
end.
him. I didn't
Where
have
was
his
it?
putter ready.
At the end, it was in my hand.
I didn't have his putter ready for him. All right. Whatever, Hank. We were on the same team. We had the best comeback ever
Team
in the
sport.
Silent Scramble when Jake stunk.
It's true.
Don't spoil it.
Oh, Jake, so bad.
So bad.
Yeah, so bad. And then just an epic comeback that was all brought to you
Yeah.
by Bushmill. I love Bushmill's Irish whiskey. They earned a license to distill. And guess what year they started distilling, Hank?
1901.
1608.
Holy
from
shit.
King James I. There were other licenses to distill whiskey granted around Ireland, but none of those distilleries have survived. Only Bushmills has survived until this day. Not only is it the oldest, but Bushmills has been making single malt whiskey longer than anyone. The best of both worlds. Bushmills is a smooth, triple distilled Irish whiskey, but with the complexity of a single malt. That's why Bushmills is Ireland's most awarded single malt whiskey. Chart your own course with Bushmills. Bushmills is the official whiskey of the PGA Tour, and it was the exact right product for Hank and I to take sips of to fuel our comeback in the silent scramble that everyone's talking about. Bushmills, Irish whiskey. And now, here's Brian Hoyer.
Okay, we now welcome on a very special guest. It is Las Vegas Raiders quarterback Brian Hoyer, who has been on many teams, Super Bowl champion as well, I should say. Do you get introduced as a Super Bowl champion by people? You should.
When you don't play in the game, you don't get usually introduced that way, but I was on the team.
Yeah, that's bullshit. You should. You are a Super Bowl champion. You were on the roster. You're in the team picture. That's
Well, I was thinking about this. I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember when we met? We were down there in Atlanta at that restaurant. It was me and Tooney and Ted Karras, and we were at that. I think it's called Umi, that sushi place, and we that was the first time I ever met you. So I was thinking about that driving in,
and I was like,
that was the week of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was like, good luck in the game, and I think you were like, I hope I don't play in this game. It's like that could be a problem. But
it's part of being a backup quarterback. You never know.
Yeah, so let's start there because I mean you obviously started as well. I actually should say, and this might be bringing up bad things, but the Browns year that you got the starting job and that Thursday night game, I think it was when you got hurt. I believed, I was like, this is it. This Brian Hoyer, local kid. He's going to be the guy for the Browns. So I don't know if you had those same thoughts going through your head, but I really did feel it. And I was like, for many years, I was like a big what if, like Brian Hoyer was the guy.
Trust me, I saw North Turner out here. He was our offensive coordinator, and his son Scott coaches on our staff out here. He's like, man, if you ever would have freaking learned how to slide, maybe we'd all still be there. It was bad timing. It was like obviously like childhood dream. I grew up in Cleveland. Grew up cheering for the Browns before they left, and then all of a sudden I'm playing for them and we're winning. And if my cleat just hadn't got stuck in that grass, or if Kiko Alonso hadn't hit me at the same time, like you never know. But there's a lot of those what ifs in a long career, and I got a chance to start again the next year, and unfortunately it just didn't work out. But I'm happy to still be playing, and I've learned a lot over 15 years.
Yeah, I remember that year. I actually went to a Browns game, and I was driving through Ohio, and it was Brian Hoyer's face on Mr. Hero billboards on the side of the road. They loved you. They loved you in Ohio. And then Draft Day came out while you were in Cleveland, right? And
you're right. Yeah, I remember we went to like a little premiere for that. That was pretty cool.
I thought that the quarterback that they had for the Browns was like loosely based around you. Did you ever feel that?
It's funny because I had just kind of like. That movie was already in production before I even kind of got there. Because I remember I got there in 2013 and they had already wrapped up all the shooting. But it was funny because then I go see this premiere, and it's like it kind of was like the same thing. Like, are they going to draft this high profile quarterback early? And the GM was like, no, we're sticking with you. We're going to draft this running back and this linebacker, and it was kind of a cool story, but.
Yeah.
Didn't work out that way in real life.
Yeah, I never even put that together, but you're right.
It was the same thing. It was like an injured quarterback that was coming back from something, but he was good. He was solid, and he's a better quarterback than the team's seen in a long time. I was like, how did they write this? How did they write this before it happened?
The Brian Hoyer story.
Crazy.
So, and this is always a tough question to ask because you have been a backup the majority of your career.
Yeah.
What makes a good backup? Because we have this debate all the time on Twitter where it's like some star quarterback decides to retire. It's like, well, he would be better than all these backups, but they don't understand that like being a backup quarterback, I think is more than just like talent. You got to be a guy in the locker room. You got to be able to help the starter, all these things. So what in your minds, you are a phenomenal backup quarterback. What in your minds, like is that recipe for being a good backup quarterback?
Yeah, well, I look at it like I was kind of a backup in two separate parts of my career. Like obviously the beginning, I'm a young guy learning from Tom Brady day in and day out. Like, was I prepared to like go in and do well if something had happened to him? Probably not as prepared as I am now with all the experience that I've had. But those years when you're a backup, it's all about soaking it in and learning and obviously being ready to play. And you don't get a ton of reps, but it was a great learning experience for me. And then I had a chance to play for a bunch of, different teams, Cleveland, your team, Chicago, Houston. And then you kind of gain this, obviously the playing experience, and you learn from those instances. And then, I went back to New England, and I'm back in Tom Up, and it was a different scenario because I had actually played, and I think he valued my opinion a little bit more than when I was just this rookie guy who had never done anything. And we, had a great relationship, and I'd be there on the sideline to see things. And when he'd come into the sideline, I'd be like, hey, what'd they play on third down? And, I'm trying to watch and be eyes from him from the sideline while also, being ready to play. And a big thing about, back in Tom Up was, as he got older, he couldn't practice every day. So, it'd be my responsibility to go in there and, keep the team going and have a good practice, and which was great because it prepared me for the game that week. And then, then you become a backup to a young guy like Mac Jones, and it's more about, you don't take any reps because he needs every rep, and just try to impart the wisdom that, you've learned over the years. And now here backing up Jimmy, and, kind of the same thing, having been in, our offensive system for a long time. It's, try to help him where he needs help, and if he asks for it, and at the same time, be ready to play. Like, the first drive of the season, he ran the ball, scrambled, got hit. They had to take him out to make sure he was okay. And it's like, boom, you're thrust in there. You just never know when it's going to be. And, that's probably the most difficult part is you go to the game day and you have to be mentally prepared to play, but you may not play at all.
Right.
And so I always found it easier as a starter because at least you have the week going in, when the offense takes the field, you're going out there and you're prepared to play 60 minutes.
Did you just a quick follow-up on that? Have you ever had a moment in your career where like the defense is just teeing off on the starting offense and the quarterback gets hurt and you're like, oh, fuck, I don't want to do this?
I mean, not that I don't want to do it. It's the role, but oddly enough, of all the years that I've been a backup quarterback, it's only been one or two times where I've had to been thrust into action, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. The most notable was when I played in the Colts with and I was backing up Jacoby Brissett. And a lot of times, like when the play's called, I'm like, all right, there's a chance that he's going to get hit here. And I remember it was a play, it was like a quick pass, and I didn't even think. And then all of a sudden the play's over and I'm looking to where the ball was completed, and you hear the whistles, and I'm like, what happened? And I look and Jacoby's down. I'm like, how did you get hurt on this play? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But one of the linemen had fallen into his knee, and I'd only been there for like 4 or 5 weeks. So I came at the end of training camp, and I get in the game, and I'm like, God, please just call some plays that I know. I remember one time at one point we called a run play, and I'm looking at the defense. We're playing the Steelers, and it's like a run to the left, and they have like 7 guys over there. And our center was Ryan Kelly, and I go, Ryan, we can't run this play. Like, how do I get a play to the right? And he like said the name. I'm like, all right, that's the one we're doing. Let's go. And he go to the right and get a first down. But sometimes you just got to go on the fly.
Yeah. Did you always know where your helmet was, just in case, even though you've only been like jumped into action?
I'm one of the guys that Belichick is like, when you're the backup quarterback, you don't get an earpiece. You like your helmet's on.
Yeah.
Because there were games, early in my career where it'd be like 2nd and 8. And all of a sudden I hear in my helmet, like, Hoyer, get in there. And you'd be like, sometimes it was a preseason game, but it happened in a regular season game too. And so, that was part of Bill's thing, was always keeping on her toes. And so for me, when I'm the backup, my helmet's on. First, I got to hear the play. And second, like, you got to be ready to go.
Yeah. That would be my nightmare, is being a backup quarterback. You get a shot, and then you're just running all over the side. Like, somebody took my helmet. Someone took my helmet.
Yeah.
Get that thing back on.
I always have when the offense is on the field, my helmet's always on.
When did you learn that Belichick liked you?
Ooh, good question.
I don't know if I ever did, to be honest with you.
I mean, he kept he brought you back, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think for me, it was, my rookie year, I didn't get drafted. And I thought I was going to. And then, of course, when you don't get drafted, you get all these teams calling you after the draft. And remember my agent was like, hey, I think, New England really likes you, and I think that's where you should go. I have a good relationship with these guys. And I was like, Joe, Tom Brady, and it's like, this is 9th year. They had just drafted Kevin O'Connell, who's now the head coach in Kansas City, the year before, like in the 2nd or 3rd round. And they had another guy who had been there for a long time, Matt Gutierrez. And he goes, just trust me. I think, I've talked to Nick Caserio, who was like their pro personnel guy at the time. And he's like, I think that it'll be a good fit. And worst case scenario, you get to learn from, the greatest coach and the greatest quarterback of all time. And I said, all right. And I went there and I just tried to learn and soak it all in. And, week after week got better. And then all of a sudden, the next thing I know, I'm Tom's backup on opening day, and he's coming off of, major knee reconstruction. And so I think then I kind of knew, like, they believed in me, and that's what they wanted me to do, was to be there and obviously be Tom's backup and learn from him. And then, I ended up leaving and playing for a few other teams, and part of the Jimmy G trade when he went to San Francisco was, for me to go back to New England. And obviously he wanted me back then too. So, it's funny, like, you never know how things are going to play out. And, to be able to go back there several times, I think, that always showed a vote of confidence.
Yeah. Yeah. So you won a Super Bowl, and then you also lost a Super Bowl on the Patriots. What, as a backup, do you say anything after, like, the 2011 loss to the Giants? Do you say anything, or do you just, like, I'm not saying shit in this locker room?
Yeah. I mean, that was my first experience losing. And for me, that, like, I don't know, this is like the top that it could ever get for me in my career. And to lose, it was heartbreaking. And, you go in, and I remember Tom just sitting there in his locker in his uniform for like 45 minutes, an hour. And I was like, God, like, and I was going to be a free agent the next year. So I'm like, God, this could be it. And then, I was there again when we lost to the Eagles, and, that game was incredible. I mean, I remember sitting on the sideline, and Tom was just in the zone. It was like he came over, he didn't say anything. He looked at the pictures. That was it. He went back out. And I mean, he threw for 500 and some yards in the Super Bowl. It was crazy. And, after losing it for the second time, you walk back in the locker room, you're like, geez, like, maybe I'm the one that's cursed this team. I've been here for 2 of the losses, which that made it that much sweeter when I was a part of the winning team the next year when we beat the Rams.
Yeah, I feel like I would try to crack a joke, and everyone would be really pissed at me.
That's probably exactly what.
Just be like, just get in the locker room after Super Bowl loss, be like, we'll get him next week, guys. Something like that.
The balls were too hard today.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. We'll get him next week.
Like what you have Gronk for.
Yeah.
Do you blame yourself as not being good enough on scout team to give the guys a good look at the Philly special?
Oh man, you know what? I didn't run that one, so you know what? I can't say I gave him a bad look because we never ran it. But that's a ballsy call in the Super Bowl, and it worked out for him. So, that's like you talk about backup quarterback. Like, a huge part of it is I took a lot of pride in prepping our defense each and every week, and to be honest with you, it's a lot of fun because you get to imitate some other guys. So you're playing against the Packers and you get to imitate Aaron Rodgers. Like, you're trying to make no-look throws, or Mahomes, or, a Josh Allen. Like, there's some things that you learn, skill-wise, that you could try to do or attempt that maybe you wouldn't do in the confines of your own offense. And so I remember, the Super Bowl against the Rams, we were playing those guys. And I remember, having played in the West Coast system, I'm seeing a lot of these cards. I'm like, I know this play. I've run this play. And, talking it through with, the McCourties, the Hightowers, those guys, and saying, hey, look, like, I think, they're probably going to try to do this on this play. And it was pretty cool because after that Super Bowl, Devin and Jason McCourty both, did an interview and talked about, how I helped contribute to them and their preparation. That meant a lot for me, for not having to be able to, take the field and take a snap, knowing that I contributed. And those guys felt like I really prepped them for the game.
You are a Super Bowl champion. That 100%. Right there. You got to just tell that story every single time. So, I mean, that's a great story. And it's got to be like a very pressure-packed situation. Be like, I don't actually get to affect how this game's going to go, right, but I'm part of this, and I'm part of the bigger thing here.
For sure.
Which every single week has to be like, it kind of probably weighs on you a little bit, knowing that, like, I can't go out there and help them.
We got to be Jared Goff one week. You got to be Deshaun Watson the next week. There's a lot that goes into being a backup quarterback.
Did Ernie Adams ever give you a little tip? Did he ever tell you something to do as the scout team?
Well, funny fact about Ernie is sometimes, like, on Fridays, they let Ernie draw the cards for the scout team. And he'd come down and like, look, I got the transcontinental special set up for these guys today. We're going to get them on. It's like a double reverse pass back to the quarterback. And like, I'm like, there's no way. He's like, oh, I saw this coordinator. He ran it back, when he was the offensive coordinator in Eastern Michigan, 30 years ago. So Ernie was always trying to keep those guys on the toes. And I was, it'd be funny because you could tell when the card was drawn by Ernie, it'd have all these scribbles on it and it'd be like a crazy play.
Oh, that's
awesome.
Ernie,
he's one of our favorite, like, unsung, like, secret characters in the NFL that I guess more and more
Wizard
people,
of Oz.
Yeah. So Ernie was actually, like, involved. Friday was Ernie Day.
Yeah.
Sometimes Thursdays, and look, trust me, I was a part of those offensive practices where he drew the cards for the defense, and you'd have this whole scouting report. Josh, McDaniels is notorious for prepping us like, look, on this down and distance, we got it narrowed down to this. And, Ernie would have the cards, and it'd be some like exotic blitz that they haven't shown in 4 years. And it'd catch you off guard, and Bill would be like, look, there's no rule they can't do that.
Yeah.
And it would just drive me insane. So it was always fun when I got to run them, against the defense, because they would get pissed off. They're like, there's no way they're going to run that.
It's funny that you did that too, because you did the exact same impression that Jules does when he comes on the show. So I think you guys both nailed Ernie Adams. I have an insult stat for myself that's actually a positive stat for you. I don't know if you know this one. So Bears insult stats always go viral. People love to do it. The Justin Jefferson one the other day. Do you know that you are tied for most 300-yard passing games in a Bears season? You're tied for the most all time with 4 in a season. Yeah, with Cutler, Mitch, and Billy Wade. The 4 of you both had 4 in one season. It's an insult stat that the most is 4.
I only played 5 games.
So I know. It's insane. We should have let you keep going. It's crazy.
Well, if it wasn't for Clay Matthews just destroying my forearm on Thursday, I have bad luck on Thursday night games, man. I actually, that was, it's funny you say that. I know you're a Bears fan, but like that was one of like the most enjoyable seasons of my career. I'm a Midwest kid. I grew up in Cleveland, Chicago. Lake Forest was beautiful. We loved it there, and I was playing well. I'm like, man, like kind of like what you talked about in Cleveland, like I may have a chance here. And then Thursday night game, second quarter, boom. I mean, first time I ever broke a bone in my life. It was crazy. But I was on a roll. We didn't win all those games. We were close, but I love playing for the Bears.
Yeah. So you are one of the best Bears quarterbacks of all time, just based on that stat.
Yeah, for sure. do you think that maybe you would have gotten more chances to start if you had gone by your name, which is Axel?
Yeah.
Axel Hoyer. Hoyer is that's lightning in a bottle right there. That's a starting quarterback.
Or a great skateboarder.
It really wasn't up to me. So my dad's name is Axel, hence that's why I'm named after him. But my mom refused. She's like, there's no way I'm calling my firstborn son Axel. So she named me Brian, and that's what I was always called. And I always joke about it, second, third grade, you go for the first day of school, roll call. And they'd be like, Axel Hoyer, and all the kids would laugh.
Yeah.
And I'd get upset. And so finally I'm like, Mom, you need to send a note in, tell them it's Brian. And I actually thought about switching to it when I went to college, and my dad's like, don't do it, because the moment you throw an interception, they're going to start cheering asshole instead of Axel. And I said, all right, fair enough. But it's a cool name. It's unique. And especially now in this day and age of these crazy names, everyone who meets me is like, man, why don't you go by Axel? I'm like, you didn't grow up with it as a kid.
Yeah, but you did go. I mean, going from Axel to Brian, no offense, dude, you lost a lot of masculinity.
It was the 80s, dude. Everybody.
You lost a lot of masculinity in that trade.
Axel Rose. Axel Rose was a cool name in the 80s, right?
That's true. Yeah, for sure. That was my dad's name. It's not like it's just they named me randomly.
That is, being like my dad's name is Axel is just as cool, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. That's pretty badass. Yeah, that's great.
I could still switch. Giancarlo Stanton used to be Mike Stanton, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
You switch it up. So I don't know if you watched the documentary about Johnny Manziel. We've had him on the show a couple times. He actually worked at Barstool for a while. From your perspective, did you, because you were there the first year he was at the Browns, were you sitting there this is not going well? I can tell he's probably not putting in the prep work. Did you have conversations with him about that?
Yeah, it's funny. Everyone always brings that up, and obviously once the Netflix thing came out, everyone here watched it. They're like, "Dude, I saw you all over that." I'm like, "Yeah, I lived through it," and I always felt kind of bad for Johnny. There was so much pressure, there was so much hype, and obviously he was going through a lot of things. He and I never had any problem. In the building, we were great. I thought he was great in the building. I think if anything, the Browns kind of knew what was going on, and they still thrust this all on him. You know what I mean? And clearly he wasn't prepared. He kind of jokes about it. I had watched 0 hours of film. I remember when they called me in to say, hey, we're playing Johnny. I remember Mike Pettin told me that. And I was like, okay, clearly this decision is being made for you guys and for the program. And that's what they chose to do. But he and I always, we were fine. Obviously I was always focused on, trying to prepare the best I could, but I tried to, whatever knowledge I could share with him, I did. And he was always, respectable. And, I think, there's this persona that maybe he felt like he had to live up to. I don't know, but I felt like it was kind of an unfair situation for him, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever hear the story about how the owner of the Browns was told by a homeless person to draft Johnny Manziel on draft night, and that's why they took him? When you heard that, were you like, what the hell, man?
I grew up around here.
Like, come on.
It's bullshit.
I know. I mean, growing up in Cleveland and knowing, that fan base is so loyal and they get so excited about everything. And I think it was kind of weird. Like part of like the fan base was, like you said, leaned towards me. And then part of it was like, Heisman winner, he's going to bring us back to the promised land. And I think that was an unfair, hype that was put on him, to be honest with you. And I think the team fed into that, it was, they wanted to sell the jerseys. They wanted to sell the tickets. And it was crazy. I mean, I remember beating the Bengals, I think it was the first week in November, and we were in first place. And, 2 weeks later, I was getting benched.
Yeah.
And right. I mean, look, I didn't play great, but there's a lot of starters who don't play great for a week or two and the team sticks by him. But I think they were looking for any opportunity to thrust him in there. And that's where I said, like, I don't know how fair that was to him either.
Yeah.
Brian Hoyer is brought to you. We're going to get back to him in a second. He's not over, but he's being brought to you by the Farmer's Dog. I use the Farmer's Dog. Blake loves the Farmer's Dog. That puppy is growing so fast. It's crazy. He put on like 10 pounds in the last 2 weeks, and the Farmer's Dog is fueling his growth. It's great. I'm telling you, you put this down in front of your dog, they love it. They'll eat it so fast. It smells good. I think Max should try it, actually. Max, I would like to see you on a Farmer's Dog diet at some point. The results of switching your dog's food from kibble to fresh can seem like magic when a senior dog starts acting like a puppy again, and the pickiest of eaters can't wait for dinner time. You might think some spells were cast. But the Farmer's Dog doesn't use any sorcery. They don't use secret ingredients to make their fresh food. They just use science. The Farmer's Dog makes and delivers fresh, healthy dog food. It's developed by vets, nutritionally balanced, made from real healthy ingredients to human food safety standards. It's not canned goo. It's just real healthy food. It's great. Blake's coat's looking awesome. He's a very, very healthy dog. It is some fantastic food. I've got a freezer full of it. It's the only thing he eats, and it's doing a great job. So I'm a official believer in the Farmer's Dog. It doesn't matter if your dog's young or old. It's always the right time to begin investing in their health, helping you live more healthy, happy, and full years together. You can get 50% off your first box of fresh, healthy food at thefarmersdog.com/PMT. Plus, you get free shipping. Just go to thefarmersdog.com/PMT. Get 50% off. That's thefarmersdog.com/PMT. And now here's more Brian Hoyer.
Yeah.
So now you're out in Vegas, and I love Allegiant Stadium. It's one of the best looking stadiums in the NFL.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Have you got to check out the orb that they have there?
You know what? The best view I've had is flying in and you see it at night. I mean, it's incredible. So we actually, my family's out here and we had like that little bye week before the season, and we went down and saw a comedy show. We were right by it. I mean, that thing's like out of this world.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's awesome.
It's nuts. Not Josh McDaniel, not Bill Belichick, because Josh McDaniel's your coach right now, and Bill Belichick is probably the greatest coach of all time. Who is your favorite coach to play for? So I'll take those two out, so you can't answer those. Who's your favorite coach to play for?
I had two great coaches in Chicago, and since I'm talking to you, I'll definitely throw them up there. Dal Loggins and Dave Ragone.
Mm-hmm.
Funny enough, Dave Ragone, my quarterback coach there, he went to my high school. He was a quarterback like 6-7 years ahead of me. And considering I played like the best stretch I've ever played, Dal was great because he was very like, he'd be like, hey, what do you want to run this week? And so I had a lot of say, and we had been together in Cleveland, and he knew what my strengths were, and I felt very free, playing for him. Obviously I played for Kyle Shanahan. Kyle's an incredible coach. I learned so much from him about, zone coverage and how to attack zone coverage. He was obsessed with that. And so I learned a lot about that. He was also, crazy about footwork and like the way you throw. And when I first was with him in Cleveland, I noticed a difference in the way I was able to throw when I worked a lot of the footwork drills that he put me through. So those three guys, would definitely be at the top of the list.
Good answers.
Yeah.
When you were with Kyle Shanahan, were you like, I feel like the best quarterback ever? Because we obviously have a theory. Nothing against Brock Purdy, but we've seen it. Every time he has a quarterback, he brings the best out of the guys.
Yeah, Kyle does a great job of scheming and game planning, and his offense, makes it simple for the quarterback. And I think for me, when we could run and play action, it was super. Like you said, I felt great. I was a starter at Cleveland. Even though San Francisco didn't work out, I had a lot of good games out there too, and he definitely puts the quarterback in a great position to succeed.
Yeah.
So out in Vegas, after week 1, Max Crosby was being interviewed, and he said that Jimmy Garoppolo is a dog. He said Jimmy G is a dog. Would you agree? Is Jimmy G a dog?
Jimmy's awesome. Oddly enough, the first time I ever met him was at the Derby after we won the Super Bowl, because Tom kind of has this crew that goes to the Derby. And that was, even though we had traded places, he went to San Francisco, I went back to New England. That was the first time I ever met him. And so getting to work with him, like, you just see why this guy's a winner. He brings the same mentality every day. And guys gravitate to him. He's got that winning personality. I think you saw it in week 1 when we played, some tough situations, and he ends up, closing out the game, scrambling on a play. He's not known for being a scrambler, gets the first down, slides, and you could just see, why this guy is a winner in the NFL.
Yeah. Do you ever catch yourself just staring at him being like, damn, he's so hot? Because he is so hot.
He is a handsome guy. He's a handsome guy. I know, Chicago native.
Yeah,
so.
I met him once, and he took my breath away. I was like, holy fuck. Like, it's true.
Yeah.
You are the hottest guy ever.
Good looking dude.
Yeah. If I were you, I would not introduce my wife to him.
So far
I don't
away.
think he's looking for wives. I think he's, he's on the call.
Who's your favorite guy to back up? Not Tom Brady. We'll take Tom Brady out of this.
Jacoby Brissett.
Okay, we're a big Jacoby Brissett podcast.
I was talking with Josh. Like, this guy's hilarious. You talk about a dog. People who love him. I mean, you see the respect like the Browns showed him. Like, a guy came back for a preseason game, and they had like the billboard for him, like, welcome back, Jacoby. We miss you. Like, this guy is one of the best guys that I've ever been around. He's hilarious. My kids love him. He people gravitate towards him the same way that, they gravitate towards Jimmy. I love being with Jimmy too, but Jacoby and I just had a bond, and we've kept that friendship, and he's always sending me texts and making me laugh. I mean, he's a great guy.
Yeah. Backing up Tom Brady, I would imagine it would be easy, kind of, because you know that he's probably going to play, and you're not going to have to get in too much for him. But at the same time, like, trying to absorb anything that he's trying to teach, since he's on such a different level than everybody else in terms of experience, what he's accomplished, the way he sees the game, all that stuff. Is there something about his game that you were actually able to emulate that made you a better quarterback?
I mean, there's so many, just being around him day in, day out for so many years, you kind of pick up certain things that he does and try to incorporate them in your game. I think the thing about Tom was, first and foremost, he's a great person. He's a great leader, and he knows which guy, like, he knows that he could be hard on Julian, but he's got to take it a different route with someone else. No one was harder on Julian than Tom. I remember, because Julian and I came in together as rookies, and I'll never forget, like, Wes would run a route and Tom would throw it. He'd be like, good job, babe. And then Julian would do like the exact same steps. And he'd be like, Julian, what the fuck? Like, I told you to do this. And Julian would walk back. He'd be like, I did it the same. And but like, it paid off. You know what I mean? Like, he earned Tom's trust. And then, like, I remember with Gronk's rookie year, like, he'd keep Gronk out there and for like 40 minutes throwing extra routes. And I think what I learned the most from Tom is, you always have to put in the most work so that other guys see you do, like, they can't question what you're doing. And if they see you doing it, everybody kind of rises to that level. And I think that's what built such a great culture there. Was not just guys like Tom, but like the Brewskis, the Vrabels, the guys that we learned about. And then the kind of the crew that I came in with was like Julian and Devin and Hightower. And it was always kind of cool for me, because I kind of left when it was still like those older guys. And then I came back. And now, Matt Slater and McCourty and Julian and Hightower were like the older guys, and they had kind of continued on that tradition of like, look, no one's going to outwork us. It's hard as shit here. You come in every day. Bill makes it as hard as possible, but it's the grind that kind of brings us all together. And, I always loved the locker room. There was always the tightest knit locker rooms I've ever been in, because I think we all suffered together through the meetings, through like, you go into the meeting with Bill and it's like a 40-minute low lights. You like, when those lights go off, you're like, fuck, like, what play did I mess up yesterday that's going to be on this low light? And I think it created this bond between us. Like, I mean, I was as close with the defensive backs, the defensive line, as I was the receivers, the offensive line. And, I think that showed in the way that, we played.
So this is going to be a hard question. You've backed up both of them. Who's hotter, Jimmy G or Tom Brady?
Ooh.
got to go with the OG.
Yeah.
Tommy?
I think it's Jimmy G, though.
I mean,
I think he's more handsome.
Yeah, Jimmy G.
I don't know if I'd say hotter.
Jimmy G is hot.
Hotter?
Jimmy G's hot.
Sexy.
Tom Brady's like handsome. He's a strapping man.
Yeah.
A strapping fellow.
I mean, they're both good looking guys. I got nothing. I don't hold a candle to either of them. So.
You're
You got
good
nice
looking,
hair.
dude.
I'm bald. Like I just try to have a nice beard, you know.
All right, so this is a dumb question, but I would love to get some insight. We obviously watch a ton of football. You see different quarterbacks struggling, younger quarterbacks struggling. What do we as fans not understand about the position that is difficult to like convey to people? Like, this is what we're seeing it one way, this is how they're seeing it, and that's where the disconnect is.
I mean, it's hard. Look, it's that's the reason why they say it's the hardest position in sports. There's so much variables that are going on. You every year you're on a new team essentially, because no team ever stays the same. So you got to learn new guys. Every year you're going against a new team, so they got new guys, different scheme. And I saw something. I think Albert Breer wrote about it today, and it said offenses are struggling early in this year, and he goes, is the lack of time in the off season and the lack of pads starting to catch up. And I'm old. I remember two-a-days off seasons that lasted 4 or 5 months. And, now there's less time. And so is it going to take offenses longer to get going? Does it take younger guys to get more reps in games to get going? I don't know if that's the case. I know that we used to do a lot more work. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then what about, in terms of the argument always comes up, like play calling versus quarterback play. How much do you think it is when you're criticizing a quarterback or like this guy's, not playing well right now? How much do you think is play calling and how much do you think it is the quarterback play?
I mean, hard to tell. I mean, it could be the thing that I've realized, because I've played in a lot of different offenses, is, sometimes like I'll watch someone play and I'm like, what is that guy doing? But then I realize like, you don't know how they're being coached, because I've been coached so many different ways. There's some systems where the quarterback's responsible for a lot. There's some systems where he's not. So like the play comes in and he's just told to run the play. And I've been on offenses like that. And you look and you're like, man, in our scheme, we would never want to do that. But maybe that's how they're being coached. So I always kind of look at it like you don't fully understand the full picture. And then there's also like, man, did the guy run the right route? Was he at the right depth? Like the one thing about football is there's so many variables on every given play. And there's 11 people working together. And I've always said this, like offensively, if one guy messes up, it can ruin the whole play. Defensively, if one guy falls down, does the wrong thing, if he's away from the play, you'll never know it.
Right.
And so I think, as fans, when you're watching, there's a lot of things that go into football that maybe you miss and you don't see. Like there's plays where the left, I'm just referencing over the years, like there's plays where the left tackle does the wrong thing, but the quarterback throws the ball quick enough, it's in a touchdown. But there's times where the left tackle does the wrong thing and the quarterback gets blown up and it's a strip sack and it's 7 points the other way. And it's that little variable right there that, it just shifts the game. And I think, like you said, like, what's going on. I think there's less work. There's new teams and defenses are good, man. Like there's no slouches in the NFL. You have to bring your A game every week, or you can get beat by any team in the NFL. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Do you think that quarterback play has gotten significantly better since you've gotten into the league?
I mean, there's a lot of young, talented guys. Like we just, we played Josh Allen this week. I watched that guy. I'm like, God, I wish I could play football like him.
Yeah.
He's 6'5". He's got a rocket arm. He's running over people. He's juking guys. You look at guys like Pat Mahomes. I mean, these young guys, they have so much talent, and then there's talent around them, and then it's like basketball. So I don't know. I mean, you look at like the generation. Obviously, Tom just retired, but Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Phillip Rivers,
Big
Ben Roethlisberger.
Yep.
That was an era of great quarterback play for a long time, and now you look at. It's kind of shifting to these other guys. And I think the one thing when you look at the college game, they throw the ball. So when I was in college, we ran like the I formation and ran the ball. And now you look at quarterbacks coming in the league, they've thrown so much in college that, throwing the ball is like, I had to learn how to the pass game in the NFL. And a lot of these guys are already running, pro concept, pass concepts in college.
Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned the Bills game. You guys stayed at the Greenbrier leading up to the Bills game. Usually teams do that.
Oh, we just you guys had a golf outing there.
Yeah, it's like it's usually back to back, right? On the East Coast, if you're West Coast team,
right.
You stay at the Greenbrier. You guys actually went out there ahead of time. Why'd you decide to do that?
I think we were playing 1 p.m. Eastern, which is 10 a.m. for us out here on the West Coast. So I think, that ability to kind of acclimate to the Eastern time zone. So you're not going to, if you think about a 10 a.m. game, you usually get to the stadium 3 hours before the game. That's at 7 a.m. Like usually, I'm just getting up at 6 out here. Yeah. So, I think it was an idea of going out there, acclimate to the time zone. And that way, when you woke up on Sunday morning, it didn't feel like you were going to play a game at 10 a.m.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out what goes on at the Greenbrier because it's like a secret government facility.
Yeah.
Teams right. What happens at the Greenbrier? Spill the beans.
I mean, we practiced all week, and obviously it's a historic place. I know a few of the guys went and did, there's a bunker tour. I guess they built this bunker during the Cold War in case something happened. They'd have a place for, everybody in D.C. to go to. I didn't end up going there and checking it out. But, like you said, there it seems like there's a storied history there.
Yeah. I have to ask you one Big Ten question. Hank actually was a Michigan State fan on Saturday. He's doing a different school every week. Okay. Not the best day to do that.
Didn't work out for us.
Yeah. Toughest place to play in the Big Ten.
I'm going to go with Penn State.
Okay. That's a good answer.
That place, look, Ohio State is ridiculous, but it's kind of surrounded by the city. When you are driving to the stadium at Penn State, you're kind of out in this middle of nowhere. There's this huge erector set, and you get in there, and I think 2 out of the 3 times I played there was a whiteout, and one was the last game of the season, and whoever won was going to the Rose Bowl, and we got smacked, man. I mean, that's a tough, hostile environment to play.
Yeah. All right, that's a good answer.
The whiteout looks so good at night too.
Oh, that's what it was. My senior year, my last Big Ten game was their senior day, whiteout, winner goes to the Rose Bowl. Ooh. And it did not go well for the Spartans that day.
But you beat Michigan your last year.
I did. Yep.
That's
look, the Big House is a historic place, but it's not a very hostile environment. Those fans kind of just sit on their hands, and especially if it's not a close game like we played my senior year, it doesn't get very loud.
Yeah,
compared to Ohio State or Penn State.
I like to talk that shit, champ.
It is a fact. It's 100,000 people at the Opera. That's what they say. It's because all the noise goes out. So.
Right. It's kind of shaped like this. You know? I mean, those other places are vertical. I think even Spartan Stadium, can get louder than Michigan Stadium at times.
Yeah.
I want to talk about maybe the greatest play that never was when you were on the Browns. You threw an absolute dime to Johnny Manziel. It was a trick play.
Yeah.
It was at the time when there was a lot of chatter in the media about how Johnny was fitting in, whether or not he was, rubbing the coaches the wrong way. He gets into a fake fight with Kyle Shanahan on the sidelines, who then sends him up the field. You throw a missile to him, takes it 40 yards. I think there was an illegal procedure or something on the offense. But at the time, what was it like when you decided to install that play? Was Kyle like, listen, everyone thinks that I hate you right now, so it'd be a good idea if we pretended to get into a fight?
I don't know if it was so much like I hate you. I think it's like you're going to come over and I'm going to act like I'm yelling at you to cause this distraction. And I remember that play, we even practiced the whole rotation in practice. Okay, Johnny's going to go in, and if it's this scenario, then we're going to send it back in, and it's going to be, and the running back was supposed to stay on the field, but he didn't get the call. I forget what happened, but basically I was in the pistol, so I couldn't see him behind me, and I thought he was set. And he thought he had to be on the right side of me. It was a legal procedure, but I thought it was one of the greatest, schemed up plays that there ever were.
Yeah,
it really was.
What's the best throw you've ever made? We'll put it on a clip and we'll be like, Brian Hoyer was different. We'll do one of those Twitter videos. Be like fucking Brian Hoyer highlights.
Let me think. There was a few throws when I played in Chicago that were good. There was one I threw to Cam Meredith. I mean, I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah.
And it was against Dallas, and he ran this shake route, and it was a high nap. We call it nap, like a back shoulder throw in the middle of the field. And it was more I thought wow, what a route by this guy. I'm going to start throwing him the ball a lot more. There were some ones in Cleveland where I rolled out left and had Kyle has that rollout program where you throw it back to the right. There was one I threw there to Jim Dre that was pretty good. I don't know. I mean, it's a weird thing. When you're so in the moment, I don't remember. I'd have to think back and man, each year, what did I do? I threw a Hail Mary for a touchdown in Houston. That was pretty cool. A few balls to DeAndre Hopkins there. I mean, sometimes the receiver makes the throw,
Yeah.
So, I've had a few, but
was that against the Jaguars, the Hail Mary?
It was against the Colts.
Okay. Yeah. They've had a couple good Hail Marys down there. Is there an art to throwing pass interference? Do quarterbacks think to themselves, I'll put a little extra air under it. The cornerbacks coming from out of position, and then boom, that's an easy 30 yards downfield.
Definitely. I mean, there's definitely times where you go in and say, like here we have Devontae Adams. So kind of similar, like when I was in Houston with DeAndre Hopkins, like you just want to give him a chance to go up and touch the ball, because if he can touch it, he's probably going to catch it. And if they're not letting him touch it, then you're getting that 30 yards right there.
Yeah,
no doubt. There was definitely, I don't know if it's an art. It's more like when you have a receiver that's that good, we always just say, just let him touch the ball somehow, some way. Don't overthrow him. Don't underthrow him. Throw it to the point where he's going to go up, and either he's going to catch it because they're that good, or the DB is going to run through him and it's going to be 30 yards anyways.
Yeah, we always say on this podcast, if you touch it, you can catch it.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. Yeah. All right, so I have one last question. This has been awesome. We appreciate you joining us, Brian. My last question, rowback question, RHOBACK.com, promo code TAKE, 20% off your first purchase, Q-zips, polos, hoodies, joggers, shorts, everything, rowback.com, promo code TAKE, the best clothes out there. Bad memory, but it's not about that. Your Texans year where you went to the playoffs, when you clinched to go to the playoffs, did you even have like a second where you thought you weren't going to be playing at the first Saturday game that they just made the Texans game every year? Or were you like, all right, let's go. We know when this game's going to be played.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was more like, man, this is exciting. I'm a starter. I'm in the playoffs. Obviously, like you said, bad memory. It was probably the worst game I've ever played in my entire sporting career, going back to like Little League. And I was just thrilled to be playing in the playoffs.
Were you awesome in Little League?
I was pretty good. Yeah. I mean, I think anybody who's made it to the NFL is probably like the best in every league that they've been in. I think that's probably just the way it goes.
Yeah. What was your best? How many touchdowns was your best high school game?
Definitely 4. I mean, I remember I threw like a 98 yard touchdown pass in high school. I mean, I went to a pretty historic high school in Cleveland, so there's a lot of great players that have come out here. I mentioned Dave Ragone, and I was up there with a lot of the records and stuff like that. But for me, it was always about winning a state championship, which I never did as a starter, and my school's won 12 of them. So I always feel like I left that place with a little bit of unfinished business.
Yeah, but you're a Super Bowl champ.
I would also like to find some like old school Brian Hoyer highlights from when you were like, I don't know, 12, 10 years old, maybe. Like in Pop Warner football.
I can find them. I'll hit my dad up, see if I can send them to you.
Yeah, hit up Pax.
Brian Hoyer, Adrian Peterson, 2 best early high school highlights that we've ever seen.
Best tape we've ever seen.
Yeah, one of
you want to know, like, you talk about like were you good in Little League? Like, I used to be able to run past people, and I'm like one of the slowest guys on the team now. Like, that just shows you, like, when in Little League, like I was like running quarterback sweeps for 50-yard touchdowns. And now I'm like running like a 5 flat. So
yeah, and even the offensive linemen in the NFL, they're running like 5.0 40s, which is terrifying.
Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So my last question, you've had a great career. Hopefully it extends as long as you want it to, but then you probably are at that stage where you're thinking about what you want to do next. It sounds like you'd probably be a good coach. Have you thought about getting into coaching?
No. I just look at like the hours these guys put in, and actually like while we're sitting here, like my 2 kids are sitting in here with me. Like I want to be able to spend time with them. And so I'd rather do something like what you guys are doing than coach, and just kind of use that knowledge and educate people. And it's funny. I talked to Josh Drew, and we mentioned Jacoby Brissett. Like he and I kind of have this podcast idea that, we've been kind of cooking up, and I think it'd be fun. Like I mentioned how funny he is, and through all of our experiences, I mean, look, he's been a starter, he's been a backup, and so I think we have something there that we could work out too. But I think I could be a good coach. I just don't really have the desire to do it.
Well, a little tip for you if you get into podcasting, you probably don't realize this because you're an NFL quarterback, but a lot of sitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we sit a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So
you can maybe get those treadmill desks or something.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying, no. You got to sit and do nothing. So it's not for like. Guys can't handle this type of rigorous lack of activity.
Yeah. It's definitely a change in direction for this, so it'd have to be, a little bit preparation.
Our bodies have gotten so hard from not doing shit for the last 7 years.
Yeah.
It's a wonder.
Chair looks really comfortable though.
Yeah.
It actually, it's very small.
And
chair.
I bet you when you sit down and try to watch 8 NFL games at the same time, it's not going to be easy. It's not easy.
That's true. Trying to watch it all at the same time. But what's funny is like my wife, it drives her nuts. But like I actually love football. So like when I get home from our game sometimes, like I throw the Sunday night game on and I want to see who's playing because I enjoy watching it. And I feel like it's something that you can always learn from. Like there's times where I'll see like a play that's being run and be like, okay, tomorrow I got to go check the coach's tape and see like how they did that. So, I do love the sport. It's treated me really well. And I'm sure that whatever I do will have something to do with football.
Yeah, I mean, we gave J.J. Watt a warning when he retired. We said, you're not ready to watch all the football that we watch. He was so excited to do it. It took 2 weeks of him watching football to be like,
too many games.
It's impossible to do. This is very hard to do. It's like, thank you, J.J.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah. I saw him tweeted that out. He said, it's hard to watch 8 games at once.
Yeah, we're around the. I think you're 37. We're PFT and I are both 38.
Mm-hmm.
Bounce back is not the same. Monday mornings are tough for me. It's hard to get out of bed. I know what it's like to play in the league.
I feel like my body feels like it's been a car crash every Sunday. I eat and then 5 slices of pizza and a sundae and drink 3 root beers.
Yeah, every Monday morning I'm like, how am I going to do this again? Then by Sunday I'm like, all right, let's go. You got a job to do.
Yeah. You take these shots on Sunday. By the time Thursday, Friday, Saturday rolls around, you're ready to go again.
Yeah, we're man in the arena right now.
Yeah. All right.
That's right.
Brian.
Sure.
Thank you so much, man. This has been really fun.
Awesome.
So, yeah, we'd love to have you back on anytime. So, appreciate it.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Brian Hoyer was brought to you by Sleep Number. That's right. Sleep Number beds learn how you sleep, and they provide personalized insights to help you learn to sleep better. Science shows that quality sleep helps improve your mental, emotional, physical, and your relationship health. If you're waking up tired, here's some tips to help you sleep your best. If you had a tough workout, the Sleep Number Smart Bed can help you get the quality sleep that you need to recover faster. You can perform at your best. By contouring to your neck, shoulders, back, and hips, the Sleep Number Smart Bed provides support and even weight distribution for more comfortable sleep. If you're sleeping hot, some studies recommend keeping your bedroom temperature 65 to 68 degrees for comfortable sleep. An air conditioner or a fan, plus temperature balancing Sleep Number Smart Beds and bedding can help you keep cool so you both sleep just right. And if you disagree on comfort, 8 out of 10 couples prefer different mattress firmness than their partner. Sleep Number Smart Beds let you choose your ideal firmness on each side, and then they automatically respond to your individual movements during the night. They keep you both sleeping comfortably. And now you can save $400 on the new Sleep Number C4 Smart Bed, plus special financing for a limited time, only at Sleep Number stores or sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the National Football League. See store for details. $400 off right now on a new Sleep Number C4 Smart Bed. And now, here's Sam Howell. Some of you guys sleep on Sam Howell. I sleep on a Sleep Number.
Okay, we now welcome on Sam Howell from the Washington Commanders, very special guest. It is one question with the quarterback. We're not going to do this every week, but we will do it when it pops up. We appreciate Sam joining us. Sam, I think you know how this works. We all get one question. I actually have a second one from Hank, who's not here. He's golfing right now. So one question with the quarterback with Sam Howell, Washington Commanders starting quarterback 2-0. I'll start. My question is, when it comes to listening to what the media says, do you ever take into account people who are saying, like, you suck, but they're doing it because they're talking from a place of hurt and lashing out about their own team sucking? Do you give that a pass if someone's like, oh, Sam Howell sucks, but really they're just in pain because their own team and own quarterback sucks, hypothetically speaking?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I don't pay too much attention to it. But I mean, everyone has an opinion. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but there is a lot of people out there that are frustrated with their own teams and like to take it out on other teams. But I'm a fan too, so I understand it.
Yeah.
But I don't pay much attention to it.
Okay, all right, good. Yeah, because like it'd be crazy if people did that and just tried to lash out and said you suck, even though you don't suck.
Hypothetically. If they were hurt just because they expected great things from their own quarterback.
Right, hurt people hurt people. That's the saying, right?
Yeah, no, I hear you. Who's your favorite team?
The Bears are doing really well this year.
Oh, they'll figure it out, man. Justin's a good player, man. They'll figure it out.
Okay, yeah, that's nice of you to say. I've never said a bad word about you.
Sam, my first question is not really, well, I'll just start with a statement. I love you. Thank you. And then my actual question is, have you gotten to shake Josh Harris's hand yet? Because I saw the bad tape that went out on Monday Night Football earlier this season, and Joe Buck kind of entrapped him into a weird handshake where he just kind of like put his hand in Josh's chest. And of course, Josh is a nice guy, so he's going to shake his hand. But from a guy that I assume you've shaken his hand, can you tell us what his actual handshake is like?
Oh, it's great. It's exactly what you'd expect. He's He's a great dude, man. Yeah, I've been around him a few times. No, that clip was funny, man. They did him dirty with that one.
Yeah.
But he's a good man. He comes around a lot, which is cool for us to see. We see the owner all the time, and he's in the locker room after games, at every single game. He's at every game. So it's a fun time to be a part of his organization. But Josh, man, Mr. Harris has been awesome. So it's an exciting time to be a part of this franchise.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes.
All right, Jake.
Hey, Sam, Jake Marsh, part of my Take podcast. Thank you for joining us today. So your documented diet has gone viral. You've never had a burger or steak, so I'm not going to ask you again about that. I am going to ask you, what will it take in terms of football success this season for us to get you to have a burger or steak?
Oh, good question, Jake.
That's a great question.
Great question.
If we win the Super Bowl, I'll have a steak.
Yeah,
with us.
We'll dine on feast on steak together. Medium rare plus.
Y'all have to take me to the best steak in the world. Wherever y'all think whoever has the best steak in the world, that's where we'll go.
Okay. Yeah. South America.
Yeah, we'll go to Argentina together.
That's a long trip for a
and
steak.
Then when I take one bite for y'all and I don't like it, y'all can't be mad.
Okay,
that's fine.
Fair.
That's fine.
You will like it.
Fair. Yeah, you'll love it. You'll love it. Max.
Hey, Sam, Max here, producer of Part of My Take podcast. I know you're not playing the Eagles this week, but I just want to know if you've seen any tape on Jalen Carter and if you're scared.
Yeah, the tape hasn't come up on the Eagles yet.
It's coming.
I'm not even sure when we play the Eagles. But yeah, man, I'm sure he's doing a good job. He's a heck of a player. So I'm excited for the matchup.
Okay,
great answer.
That's
Sam.
a great answer.
That was a dirty question by Max.
That was a dirty question.
Max is supposed to be a question about Sam or the Commanders, not about your.
Well, that's interdivision.
Yeah, you got to be
gotta
ready
be on
for
top of it.
All right, last question's from Hank. This is Hank's question, not me. This is Hank. In 2021, Big Cat tweeted, "I'm a Sam Howell guy. I love him. With that said, wait ? Because you had a picture that your face looked really fat. And then you replied, "I'm a Big Cat guy. I love him. With that said, wait." Do you think that Big Cat actually is fat? That was kind of mean of you.
Well, does Big Cat think that I'm fat?
That picture, yes, you looked fat. It was just a bad angle. Like, bad angles happen.
Yeah. Well, there has been some bad angles of you, or you do look kind of fat as well.
Okay. All right. Fair. This is Hank's question, by the way. That was a bad picture.
That's a good-looking guy.
No, you are a very good-looking guy.
What's funny is I was literally just telling Sean, our media guy here, I was telling him about that interaction on Twitter. I was like, yeah, they're definitely gonna bring that up.
It was I rarely am I surprised with like something coming back at me and backfiring, because I usually can sense I'll lob it up so that it can backfire on purpose. That one I was like, fuck. He's right.
That's shocking for you to be like, wow, his face looks kind of fat in this picture, and not expect.
Yeah,
that's like, wow, this guy looks kind of short in this picture.
Yeah, I'm a big Sam Howell guy. I loved watching you at UNC. It was a lot of fun.
That's a face designed to absorb contact.
Yeah. That was a bad picture, though. You have to admit. I think it was maybe the.
Yeah, I don't remember the picture, but it might have been bad.
Yeah.
I've worked on my figure since then.
Yeah, you got a nice jawline right now. All right, do you have one question for us?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. If y'all could play any position on any team in sports, what position and what team would it be?
Well, that's a good question. I would like to be. I've said this before, but I would like to be the Kentucky Derby winning horse.
Wow.
Yeah, it would be awesome because you run one race and then you don't have to work ever again, and then the rest of your life you're just having sex.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, when I thought of this question, I was not expecting that response.
Yeah,
it'd be good.
But I certainly expect it.
I would like to be maybe a middle reliever for the San Diego Padres. That seems like a pretty good life. No media scrutiny.
A great life.
Yeah,
man.
Just hang out, pitch every few days, play a lot of golf. Your team probably is going to suck. Who cares? You're doing your job. That feels like a good spot to be in.
Yeah.
Certainly not a bad place to be.
Guaranteed contract, not bad.
Right. Jake?
Yeah, in my childhood, it was shortstop for the New York Yankees.
Ooh, a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can handle it.
That's too much pressure.
Yeah, but I can fill Jeter's shoes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Max?
Pinch hitter that comes in and tries to hit bombs.
Okay.
That was always my life goal.
Nice. Wait, what about you, Sam?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to say the starting quarterback for the Washington.
Okay,
Commanders.
good answer. I thought you were going to say.
I was
very afraid.
Or a professional golfer.
Ooh,
yeah, that was Hank's answer actually. So
yeah.
you covered that one.
Yeah. He
It's a
absolutely
good life.
Yeah.
A good life. For sure.
All right, well, Sam, thank you so much. Best of luck rest of the season. Hopefully we see you. We'll get you back on for a longer interview, but thanks for doing one question with the quarterback. It's pretty fun, right?
Yeah, for sure. No, I appreciate you guys having me on. Let's do it again.
Yeah, we'll see you after we win the Super Bowl. Left hand up, Sam?
Yeah, we're
going to get left hand up.
We're going to go to South America.
There we go.
You already know.
Yeah.
Left hand up.
Sir.
All right. Thanks, man.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
Okay, we're going to wrap up with Jimbos. Today's Jimbos brought to you by the one and only Snickers, the most satisfying solution for all those rookie mistake moments, packed with chocolate, caramel, peanuts, and nougat. Snickers is the go-to play when life throws blitzes your way. Rookie mistake, maybe you just need a Snickers. Learn more at snickers.com/NFL. Also, I will give you my credit card. We need to go get more Snickers ice cream.
I know. I noticed we were out during Sunday, NFL Sunday.
I like
Did you take like 3 boxes home?
I did take 2 boxes home, yes.
They're so good.
And I ate them at home. And my kids had some too, but I ate most of it. Yeah, I've been eating a lot of Uncrustables too.
Oh, the Uncrustables, so good.
Very
It's
good.
really the perfect meal. An
They're
Uncrustables.
too small.
No, you have one
They're
as
like
a
4
snack.
bites.
No, Jake, here's what you do. You get 2 Uncrustables. You have both of them.
Put
and
some
then,
peanut butter and jelly in between the two.
yeah, you can make an Uncrustables Uncrustable.
Maybe put a Snickers bar in the Uncrustable.
No, that's dessert.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we need more Snickers bars either way. But yeah, today I
Good point. Good point, Max.
I did.
You know what else is good?
Yeah, Snickers. Thank you to Snickers. We need more Snickers ice cream. I love it. Okay.
Took this new girl out on a date and got all-inclusive at the Cardinals game. Clearly flexing.
Is that a flex?
Really depends on if you're talking baseball or
St.
football.
Louis?
Yeah.
I think both aren't a flex.
Yeah,
but
neither one.
I think it's the opposite of a flex, right?
Yeah.
all inclusive.
Like,
That's a lot of
Maybe-
farts.
yeah.
You're gonna fart a
No,
lot.
babe, these hot dogs are free.
No, yeah. No. The best part is you can just keep going back for the chicken fingers.
No, you don't have to tip.
Yeah.
Well, it's good illusion. She was right behind me in the buffet line, and after 2 full plates of nachos, I couldn't control my fart.
Oh, called
So
it.
it took out
Lot of
half the
farts.
line, including the girl behind me, who was 5'1".
It's the truth, dude. If you go to all inclusive for the baseball game, it's fart city. That's all you're gonna do for the rest of the day. You just eat so many things.
Wait, what is it? What do they mean? It took out a girl who was 5'1".
He's probably a tall guy, so he's probably
Right at ass level.
Yeah, ass to face.
I said he blamed it on the kid that was standing in front of him.
Smart.
Oh, okay.
Smart.
But we know it was you. Also, just blame it on the buffet.
The guy in front of him was definitely fat too.
Yeah, dude.
You always
these
blame it on the
things-
fat guy.
Yeah, you always just point to
True.
the fat guy. But yeah, when you do the all you can eat at a baseball game, oh my god! By the 3rd inning, I'm a toxic wasteland. It rules though, and then the dessert cart comes. Marron.
Jake from Blacksburg.
Oh, hey Jake.
I was serving food to an old family friend who was eating with his elderly blind dad. This already sounds like a
Okay.
movie. As I was saying bye, B-U-Y, to them, I attempted to shake the father's hand.
Did you just spelling shame him?
Oh, he's trying to trip me up.
With by and by?
Yeah.
All right.
How would you have pronounced it if it was BYE?
I don't know. I tended to shake the father's hand just out of habit, and as I was holding my hand in front of him while he was just staring into blank space. Whoa. As I pulled my hand back up, he sensed it and raised his hand up, and I left him hanging.
Oh.
Completely
He
embarrassed
sensed
and
it?
continued to avoid them to this day.
That's like the old story of Shaq and Stevie Wonder when they met each other. I think Shaq waved at him.
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder, I think, sensed it and waved back.
I think these things happen. You just got to rectify it as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had those moments before, where it's like, yeah, you make a mistake. You say something to a blind person, and you're like, wait, shit, that was stupid.
It's not the first time they've heard it.
No, definitely not.
Oh, this is tough.
Okay.
Been dating my girlfriend for a few months now, and Saturday went to our first wedding together. She was the maid of honor, and I was the +1. After slugging multiple cocktails when I'm more of a beer guy, I ran into the bride's grandmother and told her how great the wedding was and how much they looked alike. I could tell right away you were her grandmother. Her response, I'm not her grandmother. It was actually her mother.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh.
That is so bad.
You should just leave. You need to leave.
Yeah, you got to break up.
It's not going to work.
You got to change your phone.
She's going to
change your address.
She's going to try
change
to
your social security.
Sabotage you. She's going to be the mother-in-law from hell.
Yeah, you need a new life. You need everything. No, well, it's not his girlfriend's mother.
Oh, that's right.
It's your girlfriend's best friend's mother.
Yeah, that's
but
tough.
But still, that woman is definitely in your girlfriend's life in some capacity.
You just ruined her wedding.
Ruined her wedding.
Daughter's wedding.
Ruined her life.
You should have tried to hit on her afterwards. That was your only hope.
Yeah, you should have been like, I said grandmother because I'm like PFT. I'm into grandmother.
Just neg the shit out of her.
Oh my God. That's one of those ones too. 30 years from now, it will randomly just pop in your head. Like, remember I said that.
Yeah, and you're going to cringe. You're going to turn red.
Oh, man. So she wasn't that hot.
Or very hot. Sounds like she was hot.
Well, no. I mean, she was hot. Maybe hot, but old.
Older. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Maybe, you know what? Get her a gift card to like a plastic surgeon.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Yeah. Get those crow's feet out.
Last one. I was on a work call with my camera off and thought my mic was muted until I realized it wasn't. I was farting the whole time.
Yeah.
I got a couple in, and then as I was scrolling on my phone, I noticed a pause, and my boss asked, who was making the fart noises? I didn't say a word and muted my mic right away. Do you think people know it was me?
So the camera to me isn't the worst part. It's the microphone that you're worried about, right?
Yeah, but the camera could be bad because you're lifting
one.
Your leg and you maybe even sniffing it.
You should have just gone started making fart noise like.
Yeah.
Me, sorry. I think that's hilarious. So I'm sorry. I realize now I can't do that.
I'm so afraid of this that I triple check every time.
Yeah.
On it, when you're on a Zoom call, you don't want to get tubed.
No.
It's the worst thing to happen.
Just put a piece of duct tape over your video camera on your phone.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Although everyone farts. Come on. It's just guys being dudes. Would that was you, Hank? That happened to?
No.
Oh, I thought it was your Jimbo. Because you take so many work calls, so I thought maybe. You want to tell us?
You ever farted on a work call before, Hank?
Yeah, obviously.
You ever fart on a work call and then submit the time you farted on a work call to a podcast?
No, what's going on?
No, I noticed that you read that one the cleanest of all.
Yeah, it almost was like it was from memory. Yeah.
You think Dave's doing work calls? Like I don't have a boss.
I think maybe E-Dog.
You don't have a boss?
Big E. I mean, Dave is my boss, but he's not doing work calls.
Well, not when you're farting in him. He doesn't want to show up to that.
I fart all the time. I should have more shame about farting than I do.
I agree.
Like when I'm around you guys, I just don't care.
Oh, that's just us. That's just love.
It's usually just an improvement in the smell in the room if somebody farts.
Yeah, true.
That's how bad the room usually smells.
Yeah, whenever someone's like, "Oh, I wonder what that room smells like," it's always bad.
It's worse than you think.
It's bad. Okay. Friday.
What? Memes.
Memes laughing in your face. Friday, we will do the NFL preview week 3, and we also have our good friend Brooks on because the boys are playing a little golf on Thursday.
Playing in the Pro-Am.
I
am nervous. I don't know what the spectator situation is going to be like.
It's 0
no spectators.
At all?
Yeah.
Good, because we would probably send people to the hospital.
Yeah, for sure.
With our bad shots.
For sure. Do we have to walk?
Yeah. Be good exercise.
Who's going to caddy for us?
Good question. Who's caddy?
Do we have caddies?
We should get caddies.
If we don't have caddies, I'm just only going to bring.
Well, actually, no.
I'm only bringing a driver.
I mean, you guys must have seen when you filled out the thing, right?
Stop it with the paperwork.
Corporate Hank and his farts.
When I filled that out, it asked, "Are you bringing your own caddy?" Which you would assume means they're providing them.
Oh, okay.
Okay, good.
Right?
Good. Yeah. Hopefully. You're gonna have to caddy for us, Hank, if there's no caddy.
All 3 bags?
We'll consolidate. Me and PFT will consolidate. We'll be good guys.
Bring Jerry.
Yeah, we'll put it
Jerry
all
go bully
in
mode.
Oh, we should actually have Jerry be our caddy.
He's the worst caddy.
Yeah, no, he couldn't make it. Yeah,
that would be awesome.
Go watch the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
Go watch the Ryder Cup.
Plug God.
Okay, numbers.
3.
18.
I'm going to go
20.
99.
I was 69.
1.
Why are you saying yes like you're going to get it?
He never gets 1.
I didn't
68.
Oh,
damn it. All right, see everyone on Friday.
Love you guys.